WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic. 97.5 The Fanatic's $1,000 gift card giveaway.
All right, time now for the keyword success. Yes, success. Game one was a success. Text the word success to 45911. There are three ways to play in this incredible contest. You can enter the keyword success on the Fanatic app or at 97.5thefanatic.com. Or again, text it to 45911. Once again, the keyword is success. 97.5 The Fanatic's $1,000 gift card giveaway presented by American Standard HVAC Contractors. Find a dealer. Visit AmericanStandardAir.com. One person selected at random will win. Get complete rules for this company-wide contest at 97.5thefanatic.com. Good luck.
It's time now for Cuz Radio.
What up, Cuz?
Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding?
Talking with the Cuz.
Go Cuz. How you doing?
Stairs rips one into the night.
Stolen by the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Way rock the baby to sleep and slam dunk.
Look, Cuz, don't even try it, okay?
Now here's Anthony Gargano.
Why don't you get the hell out of here, Cuz?
Happy game two to all across the Delaware Valley. That's right, the morning of game two tonight. Big news, and it appears that Joel Embiid, the MVP, will be playing tonight in tonight's game two. So, again, Shams just tweeted out that last night after a celebration with Joel winning the MVP award, that he turned to his teammates and said, "I'm back. I heard from my people that he had a great workout yesterday. He will go through shoot around, and it looks like he's going to go. I mean, it all depends on swelling, and as long as there's no swelling in the knee today, no substantial swelling, he's going to go, and he's going to go for game two. So now you have game two, right? And you have the MVP back in the lineup. I mean, that's it. That's pretty good. We're, as James Harden said, we're coming for game two, and they're going to be coming for game two with the MVP. And I was thinking about this a lot yesterday because the MVP got the whole thing, that award, and finally came through, and we've been talking about it ad nauseum for the last couple of years. And he won, and it was deserved that he won. It really was. It was a deserved moment that he won the MVP award. I thought it was awesome, fantastic. And but again, it's not about MVPs, and it's not about individual awards. You know what it's about. It's about a title. And you saw last night on the other side of the bracket, the Knicks were able to beat Miami. And so, that series tied up. No Jimmy last night because of the sprained ankle. So it's, we'll see. On the other, in the Western Conference, Nuggets up 2-0. Lakers take game one over Golden State. So it's a pretty big, listen, Sixers looking pretty good right now, man. This is starting to look pretty promising. And the big fella can go. Wow, it looks like he's going to go tonight, and that's a big deal. That all of a sudden Boston looks up, and now they got to face Embiid and down already 1-0 and not feeling really good about themselves. That's a big deal going into tonight's game. And I know, Chudas, I was on the side of, hey, man, just rest them. It's house money. Come at it and bring it back to the crowd on Friday night. But you're going to get your wish. You got looks like Joel tonight, which, hey, look, if he can go, then play, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm fired up. I'm happy. First off, I'm happy that he won his award, and I'm happy that obviously he's healthy enough to play, which is great. If they can go up 2-0 and they can steal one from 2 in Boston before you come back home to Philadelphia, I mean, could you ask for anything better? Obviously, you couldn't if you're up 2-0 in a series. And I understood, I didn't think you were crazy to say, hey, do you try to sit Embiid one more game? You already stole the one on the road. The old saying of an NBA series doesn't start until a road team wins. We saw the
already started.
Right,
baby.
right. And we saw the formula for the Phillies in the playoffs last year. And I know it's two different sports, but it's the same idea. It's a 7-game series, and you steal the first one of 2 on the road, and all of a sudden you're coming back home, whether it's split or you're up 2-0. And they did it without their best player.
Yeah.
So now I look at it and go, all right, now they got their best player back, who I know if he's in good enough shape, and I'm not saying shape, like he's got to get in better shape. I mean, health-wise, and he can move, and he's not going to be limbering up and down the court. He's going to drop 30-plus again, right? Like, he's going to go off because he's done that against the Celtics. And then at some point, they'll probably start throwing guys at him, because he is banged up, which would be the smart move if you're the Celtics. And then as long as the other guys continue to play well, Harden and Maxey and Harris and Melton and Niang's going to have more open looks because Embiid's back. If these guys are hitting their shots, I don't see why they can't come home 2-0.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think the dynamic completely changes. And to your point, let's go, because it looks like you're going to get the wish and have the big fella play. And to your point, look, I mean, you're going to have him in the lineup, and you're already one without him. And now all of a sudden, how tight is Boston? Boston seemed very tight to me down the stretch of that game in Game 1. They looked tight. Even the Missoula looked tight. It was weird because Legs, we had Tim Legler on yesterday. Legs said, I thought it was interesting, that they played the first half without, it didn't feel like a playoff game to them. That, I guess it was the lack of defense and, the whole thing. But they shot so well and could never get margin. That sometimes messes with a team. Now I come back and going, all right, well, we had our way with them, and they still put up all those points, and now they're getting Embiid back.
No, just wait. They start questioning the coach. That's going to be an issue too. I mean, we saw that last year with the Sixers. Or the final game of the series against the Heat. James Harden straight up said, "Yeah, we didn't have an offensive plan." And you go, "Huh?" And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a player on the Celtics right now going, "Dude, he still can't figure out this defense."
Yeah.
And that's going to take a toll on people. And like you said, now they have to face the MVP. It's not just the best player on the Sixers is coming back, dude. The best player in the NBA is coming back for Game 2.
Yeah, I know.
And I get the concern. I get the concern. If he's sore for Game 3, and God forbid they lose, and now it's 1-1, and he's sore going back home, that would suck. But I can't. Maybe it's not smart to think ahead, but I almost can't right now. If you can go up 2-0, and we've seen teams come back down 2-0 before, but if you can go up 2-0 and then you're coming home, you take one of the next 2, all of a sudden you're up 3-1. And you're 1 win away from moving on. I can't ignore that. So I'm fired up. I'm glad that he's going to be playing today. And bring on the Celtics, man.
Bring on the C's. That's right. Bring on the C's is right. Now, now when we look at this thing and we kind of couch it all down again, I keep going back to Boston being tight. They have to win. Like, that's all they're thinking about going into tonight's game is you got to win. That's why even winning Game 1 on the road, it's such a huge advantage because of the mental game that all of a sudden it plays.
Yeah, because they're feeling it for sure, and they're
Yep.
feeling it, and they're going, all right, now we have to deal with Embiid. Like, oh my God, that was our chance. We could have won. They're almost thinking now, man, we could have stole game one because the big man wasn't playing. They're the ones probably thinking about the steal at this point, when ultimately it was the Sixers that were stealing game one, and now they got to worry about not coming back to Philadelphia down 2-0, and so they're going to be tight, man, who knows? Like
Tate called it against the Braves. I mean, these series like that, the series play, it messes with it. It's as much a mental game as it is on the field.
Especially if you're the Braves and the Celtics, right?
Yeah.
You had your way with the Phillies and the Sixers during the regular season.
Yeah.
And then come playoff time, you go, oh, wait,
one game.
What was this?
It's amazing. One possession. And it goes down to, remember, Boston at one point, you and I both thought the same thing, that when Boston goes up 4, and I guess they had the basketball.
It was the 3 offensive rebounds for the Celtics. I was like, man, game over. You played hard. You'll have the big man hopefully back game 2.
I was getting ready to give him a golf clap.
Right.
Like, nice job, fellas. And, you wind up stealing it. That changes the entire mindset of everything.
We're coming here to get game 2 as well. And so.
Yeah. That's right. That's right, Beard. The beauty, too, is that, to your point about, and you got what I was saying about Embiid and wanting him to, further rest. But
yeah, you weren't saying, oh, they don't need him.
No, it was more about further rest, only because you come back Friday, you're fresh. Because I am worried about, I want to make sure that, he's good to go for the weekend, because you got 3 games, right? 3 games, and there's only a day in between a rest. So that's a big piece of it. But I'm with you, man. Listen, come in, go. You wanted to take the stranglehold in the series, and go for it, Rock. Right? Go for it. That's kind of what it is. I hope
keep trusting the process.
That's it. We got lots to do, lots to talk about. I'm already nervous. I can't wait for tonight. What are you guys doing tonight? Where you watching? What's the plan? What's going to happen? Let's talk all about it, man. There's nothing better than all this stuff. I freaking love it. I love it, love it, love it. It is it's the best. And up 1-0 on the C's is just fantastic. It really is. All right. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. Cuz Radio with the Judas. We're just getting started on the morning of Game 2, a Wednesday across the Delaware Valley. Now let me Tunis. Couple things. One, look at these numbers, Tunis. Teams that win the first two games of a best-of-7 series in the history of the NBA playoffs on the road, take a guess what their record is to win the series.
What, the percentage chance?
Yep.
68%. One shy of the magic number.
84%. Teams that win the first two games of a best-of-7 series.
Oh, first two. I'm sorry.
Yeah. First two games of a best-of-7 series on the road go on to win 84% of the time, 21-4.
That's awesome.
21-4. Teams that win the first game of a best-of-7 series on the road go on to win the series 52.6% of the time. They are 72-65.
All numbers are in the Sixers' favor here, even if just game one is won.
Yes. So you're 72-65 to win the series with game one on the road. If you win both games on the road, now you're 21.
And now we're partying.
4, man. That's what's on the line for tonight. 21-4 is on the line tonight. So if you could steal it and win it, you're good. You're
but here's
more
the
than
thing
good.
with the big man playing. If he's healthy, is it a steal?
No.
No,
Well,
I mean,
listen,
it goes off for 30-some, right, as the MVP and the guy who's done well against the Celtics this season. Look, it's still impressive. It's playoffs. You're in the Garden, all that stuff. But
you know what's interesting? I was just looking because somebody told me the line dropped. Let me look at the Bet Parks app. Yeah, it's now. I guess it was 10. Now it's 7.5.
okay, still a lot.
Which is still a lot. It's like my man Tommy says. That's no respect. That's like bleep you, Joe. Bleep you, a beast.
It was
MVP.
making the line. Those people from ESPN that were just ripping the Sixers and James Harden.
I mean, like, think about it. 7.5 is, I think that's nuts, to be honest with you. Here's the money line, plus 285. I mean, you're getting 3-1 with the Sixers to win the game.
Yeah,
with
that's
the back.
That's kind of crazy.
It's
worth a pretty penny. Just the fact that it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, my God. I look at this thing and I go, they're good. The Sixers are good, and this Boston team is not that good. We heard from yesterday with Legs. We sussed it. We talked about it. We dove all into it. They're not that good. And the other thing too, Chunas, as we discussed this whole thing, I'm looking at their reaction. They were tight. Tight. They were tight. Coach was tight. I mean, the last play of the game, they don't even run it for Tatum or Jaylen Brown, Chunas.
No, that was weird. Everything about that toward the end was weird for the Celtics. And they had no answer defensively either.
None. No answers. Yeah, I got to tell you, I keep looking at this thing and, and I'm going, they're not that good. I told you that they're allowing 116 per game in the playoffs. 116 points. And they're supposed to be this great defensive team.
Yeah. And again, they gave up 119 to the team that didn't have their best player.
Yeah.
Now, it'll slow down the night, so maybe it won't be that many points. But are they going to be able to stop the big man? I highly doubt it.
Yeah. I mean, again, they've obviously had success against the Sixers in the regular season, but we know that playoffs is a completely different animal. Completely different animal. You know what's nuts? T. Will brings up a good point. He said that, and I remember this, that if you remember the year the Sixers beat Miami, and that was the Euro team, Ilyasova, Bellinelli, and those guys, the Sixers were favorite in every game that series, and Boston won it. So, who knows?
Yeah, and, the Sixers, the only game that they were really in on was Game 4. Remember, they sat Rocco.
Yeah.
Played TJ McConnell, but this team's so much better.
I know. They're really, really good. All right, a couple things, and then we'll open up the phone lines. How about that scoundrel? How about that creepo, Jonathan Gannon? Because Shefty was on the morning show today, and Shefty drops this little bombshell. Go ahead, Jonas. Let everybody know.
Yeah, so he was on with the morning show today, and they were talking about everything, right? They got into the draft conversation, and they also got into the conversation of Jonathan Gannon, because it's the first time they talked to Shefty. And he talked about how the Gannon hiring by the Arizona Cardinals did not just affect the draft compensation, it also affected some people's lives. He said, quote, I think it impacted a lot of people's lives. Vic Fangio, for example, probably would not have taken the Dolphins defensive coordinator job and would be the defensive coordinator in Philadelphia today if everything was on the up and up. And of course, if you remember, after the Eagles won the NFC Championship game, he was interviewed sideline. Jonathan Gannon was asked about, could this have been the last time coaching on the field at Lincoln Financial Field? And he's like, no, I'm going to be back here next year. I'll be back here next year. And so he just lied.
Wow.
And then he was finally asked, because remember, he didn't speak to the media after the draft, which is ridiculous. Right. He finally spoke yesterday and basically just apologized, but it was such an empty apology. It was, it was, well, we made a mistake, because he also blamed the owner for calling him, and, I mistakenly answered and mistakenly expressed my interest in the job. You get the hell out. What? He acted like it was a 5-second phone call.
I know.
Yeah, come on now.
Like, you're talking about an NFL job, dude. Would they have to go through for that? You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, you took 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. I like the job. I'll call you back later, though, okay? I'm busy.
That's just horrible, dude. He is the worst.
Yeah, he's officially become public enemy, probably number one, maybe a little bit down the list, because you got Sixers Celtics playoffs right now. But this guy deserves all ripping.
Yeah, and it's funny because I want to get into this today a little bit, right? Because we were talking about our Celtic hate. Now we have, we're looking at Game 2, and so I came up with my top 40 Celtics, right? The Celtics that I hate the most. So I had the top 40, and I never really let it out. We never really discussed it. In fact, I mean, we kind of know who some of them are, but I never really did it in order. And I want to hit it with you, and I want to get your opinions.
Okay,
right?
Sounds good.
All right, so I'm gonna here's starting from 40. All right, just so you have all the whole thing. So I got, where are we at here? I got Ray Allen comes in at 40, because I kind of like Ray Allen, but I'm like, kind of like him, but you can't like him. He's a Celtic. Popeye Jones is 39. Vin Baker is 38. D. Brown. Do you remember D. Brown?
No.
You don't?
I don't.
He did the pump-up sneakers.
Oh, okay. I remember you telling me that story.
On the dunk contest. Kevin Garnett is 36. And again, I kind of like Kevin Garnett. He's 36. I got Scott Wedman. You probably have no idea who
No
he
idea.
is.
Wedman?
Yeah. Rick Roby. Jerry Seasting. Now, some of these go back.
Jerry
into the
Beasting?
Seasting. He was a little, white point guard who had this, hate the face kind of deal. And he was a typical Celtic, I hate you, right? Like a hate. He was like a hate, break stones kind of guy. Todd Day, 32. Dino Raja, 31. Chris Ford, 30. Now, Chris Ford played at Villanova, was a Philly guy. He actually came back to coach the Sixers.
That's why I know that name, yeah.
Right, but he was a Celtic. He was a Celtic.
He was a spy.
Yes. Pete Maravich, 29. Dave Cowens, 27.
Saw a highlight of him the other day.
Dave Cowens, 28. Rick Fox, 27. Antoine Walker, 26.
I feel like that's low.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, it's true.
Jaylen Brown, 25. And rising. JoJo White, 24. Did you ever heard of his name?
I've heard of the name. Doing some vast research.
Casey Jones, 23. He was the coach of the Celtics back in the day. Greg Kite, number 22. Paul Pierce, 21. So I love Paul Pierce. Daniel Tice, remember him?
Yes.
The Tice?
Undersized.
Hate the Tice. He's 20. Tiny Archibald, 19. And you heard stories about Tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Havlicek stole the ball, number 18. And by the way, I got to give some special props to my man who did a Maxi stole the ball.
That's awesome.
Maxi stole the ball. That was fantastic. I love it. Aaron Baines, the Baines, dude.
Dude, and I remember that series. He just kept hitting threes. And remember, he was like a career 31% three-point shooter, but was hitting like 38 in the playoffs.
Yes. The Baines. He was terrible. Gerald Henderson, 16. He was a little guard, and he was here actually for a while, too.
Yeah.
And, he's a basketball name, Duke, the whole thing. He was a hate. Brian Scalabrine, 15.
White Mamba.
Get the hell out of here with that dude. Hate the Scalabrine. Can't stand the Scalabrine. Freaking scallop head. I can't stand him. He was terrible. Rajon Rondo, number 14, Judas.
Yeah, he's high on the list for me, man.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to hate Rondo. Bob Cousy, I don't even know why, is number 13. But I put him on there for two reasons. One, he sold out Nick Nolte in Blue Chips as the AD. All right? So in the movie Blue Chips, Coach Pete Bell, played by Nick Nolte, got sold out by Bob Cousy. And I'm pissed off because Cousy went for 47. Massimo and I were playing Sixers Celtics, all-time greats. And somehow, Bob Cousy scored 47.
Wait, Moss picked the Celtics?
I told him to play with the Celtics.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
Because I wanted to play the series.
I'm starting to get nervous after Edmonton.
Nah.
All right.
Nah, he wanted to play. I said, you beat us. This is terrible.
You at least won, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. It was a close game, though. But But it's pretty bad that I have my 10-year-old. I'm like, no, you got to be Boston. I want to be the Sixers.
See, now that's a scary game to play because what if he likes them?
Well, we were talking. He's the ID one to play it and the whole
All
thing. So I was like, all right, well, I'm just.
But you decided to go. You went all-time great Sixers Celtics, though. You didn't go this series.
Right. You know, the best is I go, the only way I'm playing is if I'm the Sixers. Terrible. I'm supposed to be a grown-up. Dennis Johnson, number 12. Do you remember Dennis Johnson?
Yes, point guard or two guard or whatever.
Yeah, he was brought in, freckle-faced Dennis Johnson, to guard Andrew Toney. He was a great defender. Number 11, the Chief, Robert Parrish. Number 10, and I just know him as an announcer, broadcaster, but he was a player and a coach, and he was a Boston blowhard. Tom Heinsohn. Now, you know Tommy Heinsohn from all those vaults that
just
you went
on Monday, we played one, and you were all upset just hearing his voice.
Oh, he said hate the voice.
Because he was also calling out Billy Cunningham. It was the bird. It was the Bird and Doc. Bird and Doc fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what a stone cretin. He reminds me of the guy with the shirt tail out and just the big belly out. Oh, God, can't stand him. Number 9, Cedric Maxwell. Hate Cedric Maxwell. His name just came up.
Yeah, because he fought a Sixers fan in that clip.
Cretin.
I never even heard that story. It was great.
Number 8, Kevin McHale. Frankenstein. You ever see Kevin McHale?
Yes.
Number 7, and again, I only know him as a broadcaster, so the old heads, they know him deeper than I do. Bill Russell. During every broadcast. Number 6, Marcus Smart. I mean, you got to hate him.
Yes, absolutely.
Number 5, Al Horford. You agree?
Yes.
I mean, you might, and for extra credit, you can even throw in Anna Horford.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Number, what do we got? Number 4, M.L. Carr, who used to wave the towel. He sucked as a player, and all he did was wave a freaking towel.
So he's the cheerleader.
Number 3, he was like the godfather of the Celtics, the Padrone. He, of course, Red Auerbach. Number 2, all-time hate the face, creep, crumb, bum, Danny Ainge. And number 1, all-time hate Celtic, Bird.
Now, there's one name not on here.
What?
Now, you'll forget. I mean, it's sometimes forgetful that he was even on the team.
The top of the head. What top of the head?
Kyrie.
Yeah, but I don't see him more
I don't see him as a Celtic, but,
He was only there for 15 minutes.
Right, because he, another trade demanded.
I actually had him on a list, and I was like, and I kind of just bypassed
Well, other than that, strong list, man.
I had Kyrie on the list. I had Frank Brakowski on the list. I had, who else didn't make? X-Man. Kind of like the X-Man. Gordon Hayward. Bill Walton, but I kind of like Bill Walton.
Right.
Because he's a friendly neighborhood pothead,
Yeah, he seems like a fun dude.
Yeah.
I'd vibe with him.
Yeah. So there it is, my top 40 hated Celtics. Now you tell me, you can, add to your list, add to the list, or, whatever you want to do. You want to make sure you see it, what the deal is. So there it is. That's the top 40 hated Celtics. And we're going to get into this a little bit, this little hate game. because you said it. Gannon may be the current top 10. Gannon's on the list. Would you agree with that?
Oh, my God, yeah. 100%. I mean, you could make the case that his head was in the wrong place getting ready for the Super Bowl.
So if we opened it up to all 10, all 4 teams, all 4 sports.
I doubt he's all-time top 10, but...
No. But today, with current.
Oh, my God,
current,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's top 10. He's top 10. Well, we're going to work on that today. We want to lather you up for game 2 right here tonight. Sixers Celtics. All right. Let me tell you about the Bet Parks app because, look, tonight's game
Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic.
All right, welcome back. It's 10:51 across the Delaware Valley on this beautiful May day. Morning of Game 2. May the 3rd. Oh, can't wait. A couple of, and we get to the phone lines, open them up before we go to the vault. Couple of addendums here. One, it's funny, my cousin Joey goes, you forgot one. And he's right. So there's one that needs to make the list. Ken Dick Perkins.
Yeah.
Right? Kendrick Perkins, he's got to make the list. Ken Dick has to make the list.
Yeah, look, he was on Embiid's side, and then he flipped.
Yeah.
With 2 weeks left.
Yeah, so I got to figure out where to put him at. Where does Ken Dick go?
He's basically harmless except for that.
He's a scoundrel.
I'll give you.
Is he 30s or is he top 20s or 30s?
He's in the 30s. He was misguided.
He's in the 30s?
Yeah. But what about, there's the other one. What about Big Baby Glenn Davis?
Yes. That's a good one. Big Baby. You know what the other one? You know what's nuts? And T will put this out. This is interesting. What about Doc Rivers?
Wow.
I'm like, I can't put Doc's our guy now. But he was a Celtic.
With things going well, you can't.
No.
Maybe one day, though.
No.
Dude, by the way, NFL news, that's a shocker. Randall Cobb signing with the Jets.
No, jeez.
85-year-old wide receiver Randall Cobb signs with Aaron Rodgers. The New York Rodgerses.
Oh my God,
that's amazing! I can't believe it. Come on, dude.
Here's another. Look at this. Jackson Mahomes arrested.
Good.
On an aggravated sexual battery charge.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what the deal is there.
So there was a video right around the Super Bowl that circulated, and I don't know if it's the same one. I'll try to. Yeah, no, it is that one. He was at like a club or something, and he kept, trying to kiss someone that kept pushing him away.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No good. Jackson Mahomes. So, all right, let's get to the phone lines. So I'm going to tweet this list out. All right. So and it's going to come right off my notes. So it's kind of chicken scratch, but whatever. So I'll put it on Instagram at Anthony Lewis Gargano and on Twitter at Anthony L. Gargano. And I'll tag you, A. Salchunas 975.
Sounds good.
On both. Dustin gets us started. Dustin!
What's going on, brother?
What's up?
Dude, I got a call during Sixers season, dude.
I know.
I don't get to call much because I'm an overnight guy, but I had to talk to you today, dude, because I need Shunas to help us out right here real quick. I got a couple facts for everybody that's scared about this Celtics team, even without Joel Embiid, because on the year, they're 12-5 without Joel Embiid. They still prove that they're a dominant team, and they can still win games without the big fella. Out of the big fella, he was the greatest basketball player in the world. But listen, Shunas, three records I need you to look up. Obviously, we all know the first one. The only team in the NBA that's undefeated. And just so happens the last two games were without the greatest basketball player in the world, our MVP. Second, see who has the best record in the NBA since the All-Star game. I believe it's the Sixers and
that is correct.
The Lakers. Who has the best record since December 1st?
Sixers,
that's
baby.
where it comes down to.
Yes.
The Sixers are, because they're the best team in the league. When we have the MVP freaking P.
Yeah, you're right.
He comes from he comes from another part of the world where achievements and being well respected, he finally achieved that. Now he's going to go and do it, and they're going to win a chip, and he's going to win Finals MVP. There's no doubt in my mind. And because the main fact and the difference with this Sixers team that makes them more aggressive and better than we've ever seen with the Joel Embiid, you played a big fella tonight. I'm going to take a line from that turd Jonathan Gannon. You gut him like a fish. You go in there, you let the big fella, just even his presence on the court. He's going to draw the double teams. We're going to get the maxi shots. We're going to get the Cookie Monster with his. He had 45 points in the first game. You're saying he's too old? Well, guess what? He changed his role. He's saying he changed his role. He's leading the league in assists. The Sixers are the best team in the league right now, with or without the MVP. And I truly, honestly believe that because it's PJ Tucker time. This is why we signed the dude. If somebody wants to come at our big fella, who we all know, and everybody in the NBA is scared of him, and have to play him triple team, and have to beat him up down low, and try and hurt him because you're the Brooklyn Nets, and you have an unworthy center who all he can do, we're going to take your big. That's fine. We went out and got a PJ Tucker. I want to see PJ Tucker come out there. If anybody sniffs close to Joel Embiid, getting too physical with the big man, guess what, PJ? We brought you in here for this reason. He played through an octacle. He broke his face twice. He played through torn ligaments. Everybody beats him up. He plays against an 8 or 7 seed every year. We wonder why he's getting hurt. You're playing in playoff basketball. I'm telling you right now, cuz he's the best player in the league. I think he's going to be fine. Even without, we get through this. This is why you play him. You go into Boston and you do it in their scumbag TD Garden. Bleep the Celtics. You know how we all feel about this. They're horse crap, if you ask me. And the name that you did, I don't remember you hearing. He's a top 3 for me. What the scumbag did when he came there.
Who?
Al Horford.
Yes.
What
Horford is number 5.
That's a good bet. I'm misjudged because that scumbag was our MVP's kryptonite for years, a pain in our side, comes to the Sixers, talk about stealing money, starts looking his age. He looks like a 65-year-old man. He was playing like that when he came to Philadelphia. Couldn't get his feet out of the concrete. Then he goes back to Boston and he starts playing. Well, guess what? Now you got a Joel Embiid who's friggin' pissed off. He's going to come in. He's the MVP. He's going to show everybody why he's the MVP and why he's the best player. And Shunis, I need one.
Yes! 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 Excellent phone call.
By the way, there's one other name you left off. Limitless B checks in.
Who we got, Limitless?
He was the leading scorer for the Celtics the other night. Tatum.
No, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't hate him.
Not even top 40?
I guess I got to put him in the 40 just for...
Like, you literally said you don't hate Ray Allen, but he was a Celtic.
Yeah, it's true.
And Ray Allen caused no pain. I know they won that series, but
if
anything, Tatum should be 40.
Yeah. You know what? I agree.
Top 41 list.
Yeah, I agree. I can't leave him out completely. And by the way, I hate his chips. Remember, I have banned those Ruffles potato chips.
Yeah, they sounded good.
No, remember we went through it. They're out. Yeah, you're right. I got to put him on a list. It's not, I actually don't, like, I don't hate him, but he deserves to be on a list.
At least for now.
Yeah. 40. I agree with that. That's true. That's good. I'll put, where do you want him? You want him in place of, let's see. You want him in place of, he should be what, in the 30s, you think? Or high, or 20s?
30s for now, unless he goes off this
series.
series.
Popeye Jones?
Yeah, but you've always complained about him.
About
Popeye Jones.
Finn
you
Baker?
and Tyrone. Yeah, maybe even Baker.
All right. I'll put Tatum ahead of Baker. Tatum, 38. Because I hate Jaylen Brown more than Tatum. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and he's also guilty by association because of the Ben Simmons draft.
Yes.
And look at how much Jaylen Brown's developed his game.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. My cousin goes to Heindick, Tommy Heindick. Heinz at number 10. He came in at number 10. All right. I love doing this. Tunis, sit tight because we're going to have a lot of time to take calls. But Tunis, open the vault.
You know, when we began opening this vault nearly 2 hours ago, we had no real idea what we'd find inside. As it turns out, we haven't found very much.
The vault presented by Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged.
All right, so I have some this day in history for you, but it's pretty quiet, pretty weak this day in history, pretty weak in the birthdays as well. So I also want to play some stuff that happened yesterday. And, of course, yesterday was the Joel Embiid winning the MVP, and the Sixers posted a really cool video. They were all together. I don't know if they were having like a team dinner or something, but they were all together at the hotel to see the announcement of Embiid winning, and it was really cool seeing everybody together and everybody so happy for Joe. So here's how it sounded. Here was the video that the Sixers posted.
Tonight, 2023 MVP from the Philadelphia 76ers.
I thought it was cool. Just everybody was there
awesome.
for him.
Are you kidding me?
And everybody was giving him hugs, and Joe got emotional. He started crying,
man.
and Harden was holding them and stuff. And that's two MVPs right there together, Harden and Embiid. So that was really cool. I love that they did that. And so Embiid started speaking to the TNT crew last night. And here's some of the stuff that he said. This one was talking about Shaq and Charles. Because remember, Shaq and Charles have always been tough on Embiid.
Yeah. Thank you, big fella. Appreciate it. I still remember the conversation we had a couple of years ago. I think it was 3-4 years ago. It was actually here in Boston. We had just played Boston, and you guys were all on me about, I got to be dominant. And, to this day, I still remember that conversation. And, that helped a lot, and that changed a lot when it came to the way, I went about my business. So thank you.
He thanks them.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, no, it is awesome. And then he also thanks his teammates who you heard in the first clip.
First of all, I thank all of them because I couldn't have done it without them. Obviously, we've been winning a lot, and the work that they put in to put me in, and trust me, and putting me in positions to succeed, been amazing, and they've given up a lot for me. So I'm just thankful for these guys. They're all behind me, and they know how much I'm thankful. I'm thankful for them. But I was gonna tell them that we're gonna celebrate for 5 minutes, and then we're going back back to business. We got a series to win. I'm just so proud of them. Obviously winning, yesterday, that was a big one, and, we got a few more coming. And I'm just so proud of them to be able to make sure to give me some time to, really allow me to heal and, get back to myself and, and I'll be back. And, we got more work to do.
Look at that. That's it, buddy.
That's your MVP right
That's
there.
It,
Joel
buddy.
Embiid, your MVP. All right, so some other stuff.
That's all right, buddy.
Some other stuff to get to. How about a birthday to celebrate? Not the man that made the shot, but the man that got stepped over. Happy birthday, Tyronn Lue.
Iverson, bothered by Lue. Iverson.
How about that?
Steps over Tyronn Lue.
It's like he was dead in the water.
The Sixers by 4. 40 seconds left in overtime.
Happy birthday, T. Lue.
Yeah, you gave us a lot of memories, T. Lue.
Yeah, it's a good way to celebrate it.
That one memory lasted a lifetime.
Yeah, it sure did. Series win. No series win, doesn't matter. Have that memory. Ron Hextall's birthday is today, and of course, I know he soured a lot of people being the GM of the Flyers, but good goaltender for the Orange and Black, and here he is fighting Chelios. And
Offside against the Canadians, and now Hextall goes barreling out at one of the Canadians, hitting high and hard.
He wanted Chris Chelios as soon as Chelios came across the blue line. And that has to be that big mark that we talked about that's still riding on Chris Chelios' shirt from that hit on Brian Propp in Game 1. That's pretty well a signal that Ron Hextall has kissed the season goodbye. 1 minute and 37 seconds to go. The Flyers are down by 2. And Hextall made a beeline for Chelios. And you know what was interesting about the play was that Chelios just came across the blue line intentionally to stop play, to end up with an intentional offside.
Keep in mind now that Chelios has left, and if I count right, the Canadiens have one fewer on the ice than the Flyers, and Hextall is being restrained by Gerard Gauthier from getting over toward Patrick Roy.
Hextall's also being challenged by Patrick Roy. Roy threw his stick down, took his mask off, and said, "You want me? Come over here." Now Paul Holmgren's leaning over the bench. It looked as if he was motioning to Ron Hextall to come over.
Actually trying to fight the whole team, man.
Yeah, he was nasty.
You gotta love that. Come on, man. Tough goaltender. Love it.
Are you kidding me?
All right, this is a very random this day in history because somebody made a debut, but I have talked about my hatred for this man on these very airwaves before. I believe it's the first time I figured out what the word bum was. Today was the day David Bell debuted in the major leagues. He was a third-generation Bell in major leagues, which is why it's a pretty big deal. It's not like the website or the vault that I go through just has David Bell's debut date, but third-generation major leaguer. And the highlight that I pulled is something that is still stained in Phillies franchise history. It has nothing to do with lack of playoff success or lack of division titles. It's the fact that David Bell still holds on to something. And it still bothers me to this day. He is the last remaining Philly to hit a cycle. No Philly has done it since David Bell. And here was his triple.
Smashed to dead center field. Michaels isn't going to get this one. It is off the very top of the fence. I think it was a home run distance, and there's a triple, and David Bell is hit for the cycle unless they rule that that's a home run. None of the umpires were out there, and the way Brad Wilkerson played that, he played it as though it were a home run.
I think it probably was a home run or fan interference. It wasn't ruled either, and so they kept it as a triple. And so David Bell in 2004 was the last player to hit for the cycle in Phillies franchise history. Turner came close a few weeks ago. But, man, can somebody please hit for the damn cycle? I don't want David Bell's name still uttered around Citizens Bank Park. Because I have unhealthy hate for him.
Yeah, you don't like him.
No.
It's interesting.
He's a bum.
He's a bum. Yeah, you do not like him.
No, I think he's stunk.
It's funny, David Bell is one of your all-timers.
Yeah, he just stinks. Every time I was at a guy, I went to so many games. He never did anything. He stunk.
Yeah. Listen, I'm Rick.
Underachiever.
But I never really had any much hate. Like, it was those Phillies teams, because then you start to get to the
glory days.
That was almost the bridge to the glory days.
Yeah, and then, Tomei leaves and he takes the number 25. I was like, yo, dude, you can't wear that number. Power hitters at wear the number 25. It bothered me, man. There's everything about David Bell that bothered me.
Yeah.
Last but not least, this day in history happened this morning. I grabbed the audio of Adam Schefter. Would you like to hear it, the Fangio cut?
Yes, please.
All right, here's how it sounded.
Well, the interesting part about it would be this. I think that it impacted a lot of people's lives. Vic Fangio, for example, probably would not have taken the Dolphins coordinator job and would be the defensive coordinator in Philadelphia today if everything was on the up and up. And so it didn't just impact the Cardinals and their job and Jonathan Gannon. It impacted others as well. And so the Eagles defense coordinator, Sean Desai, and they really like him a lot, and he has got a bright future. But he might not be the guy if everything had been done the way it should have been.
I mean, are you kidding me, dude?
It's your boy, the Cannon.
Oh, God. I don't know why we let him. We were we were too giddy during the run that we let him out of the cannon. He should have stayed in the cannon, Jonas. Stayed in there.
Yeah, you can't trust that guy. You really can't. And now he leaves, and I root for nothing but his failure in Arizona. And I have no shame doing it. I will root for his demise. I hope he fails miserably.
Yes. Oh, my God. I'm with you. Oh, my God. Got it. We can't stand you. All right, back to the phones. And then if we're going to do an all-time or current and then an all-time top 10, Gannon's going to make the current list, I think. Does Jaylen Brown? We're going to bat that around a little bit. All right, lots to do. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. Now, coming up is on Friday is National Hoagie Day on Friday. National Hoagie Day. Now, when I think of hoagies, in Philadelphia, the hoagie's a Philadelphia thing, right? There's only one. And it's amazing because I was there I remember when it was birthed, because it's not just a hoagie, it's a Primo. Yes, Primo Hoagies was birthed, right, early 90s in South Philadelphia, right on Rittner Street, was the original. Big Nick takes him down the shore, and the next thing you know, there's Primos everywhere. Over 100 across the Delaware Valley and growing, and beyond the Delaware Valley as we take the great taste of Primo Hoagies all over the place and export it, because it is the best, using only the finest Thuman meats and cheeses, sliced fresh to Brought to you by Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. I got to hear from my man. I've not heard from him. Now, he's a school teacher, so it's a tough time for him to get through. But it's Sixers Celtics, and we're approaching game 2, and I have not heard from Boston hater Matt.
Yeah, that's right. I was thinking of him the other day, actually.
One of my favorite callers. I mean, we love all of our people. Matt, we haven't heard from him. Boston hater Matt. We have a blood series. Boston hater Matt, if you never heard him, would come on these epic hate Boston rants. Were incredible. And he's married to his wife is from New England, from Boston. So he always regales us with these stories about his in-laws.
Yeah.
And when it was Brady and the Patriots,
they're trying to be toxic toward his children.
Yeah, the Red Sox and trying to turn his boys into Boston sports fans. Can you imagine that?
Well, and that must have been hard to combat too, because his kids. I don't know how old they are now, but I remember him calling in. Way back, 5-6 years ago, before you and I were even working. Red Sox were there. They've won World Series recently. Obviously, he had Brady. The Bruins every single year. That must have been hard to fight back.
Yeah. All those championships. And here's the problem, right? Like, he's working, and there would be trips. Like when your wife takes you to see, like, maybe she wants to go to the in-laws and take the kids to the in-laws, right? So while you're man in the house, she goes for a week in the summer to her parents' house, and they're on the Cape and whatever they are, and the grandparents are giving them Boston, sports stuff. That's the devil, because they associate grandparents with love, right? Like, there's nothing better than your grandparents, right? Your grandparents are the greatest. So you already have the grandparent angle, and then you go all the treats and everything else, and now they're just dangling this Boston stuff, and Boston's good, winning titles, and there's Brady and the Patriots. That's a tough thing, man. Right?
Oh yeah, it has to be. It has to be to do that. And again, with all those titles that they were having, and he's a diehard Philadelphia sports fan. That must have been hard. Now, Anthony, I need you to check your phone real quick.
Yeah. Oh, Joe's about to speak.
Yes.
Let's talk. Let's listen in.
Well, I'll let you know when he's out. Yeah. I got it ready to go. They got the podium ready. They're just waiting for him to.
MVP.
Yeah, the MVP. I love it because it's off the Sixers Twitter account, and all it says in big blue letters. Of course, they have the 7-6, but then underneath it says MVP press conference.
It's fabulous. That's fabulous. MVP. Listen. You know what it's great for? It's great for the franchise, too, beyond Joe. And it's great for Joel, because we thought he deserved the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
But it's great. It's great for him, for the individual honor. But you know what it is? I mean, it's just a badge of honor for the Sixers. And the great MVPs. You remember the MVPs of the past. Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Doc. Moses. Right? Like, you talk about these All right, let's take a listen. Here's Joel.
We got microphones, guys, so
questions. What's up, Joe? What up? Initially, congratulations, and just your thoughts on getting the award.
Well, thank you. It's amazing. Feels good, obviously. That's something that I dreamed of, and I've always wanted. Especially when I started, playing basketball. That was always the goal, and obviously there's other goals and stuff, but this is just one step to whatever I want to accomplish. Which is, to win championships. And, we right there, so he felt pretty good.
For a follow-up question, I guess I was there, like, when they first drafted you. Initially you thought you were going to go to Cleveland, right? Then you break your foot. Then you missed the following year. And there's also that time where your brother passed away, right? And you were thinking long and hard about giving all this up and going back home. And, you know, I think this is a testament to perseverance, you know, sticking it through, and now you're the MVP when you were actually thinking about giving up basketball.
I've always said it. I feel like my life is a movie. You look at the way, obviously, starting playing basketball at 15, and, you know, not really know. I mean, the whole goal was to just, you know, when I got the chance to come to the U.S. was really to come get a degree and you know, find a way to get a job because I didn't think basketball would take me anywhere. So, with everything that's been happening, obviously losing my brother was a big part of it. To, you know, almost leading me to, you know, quitting basketball, not, you know, wanting to, you know, come back because I felt like it was kind of my fault because I left Cameroon, I left, you know, my family, and you know, I felt like I should have been there to do something, you know, and that was also at a period where, you know, it was a lot of dark times, missing two years because obviously the foot and everything going on really around the organization, you know, outside of basketball. It was tough, but, you know, I'm just glad that, you know, I pushed through it, and I'm here sitting in front of you guys, you know, having accomplished something that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to. It's hard. It's hard to win in this league. It's hard to be successful in this league. There's a reason why, you know, these are the best basketball players in the world, and to be sitting here and, you know, feel like, I want something as far as, you know, the most valuable player is great. But then again, he's also part of my story because I've always felt like I was a role model, and especially to my Cameroonian people and my African people, and I feel like, you know, just looking at my story, that's, you know, they can look at it and be like, wow, he did it. You know, probably the probability of someone like me, you know, starting playing basketball at 15, you know, to get the chance to be the MVP of the league is, you know, I'd say probably -0. Yeah, with all the opportunities that, you know, we don't have a lot of opportunities back in, you know, in Africa in general, to get to this point. But, you know, improbable doesn't mean impossible. And, you know, you can accomplish anything you set your mind to, as long as you believe in it and, you know, you keep working hard, you know, anything can happen.
Joel, just you mentioned those dark times. Since then, where do you feel like you've grown as a person?
I'll say the biggest key of it is obviously, you know, it's all about family. I don't talk about it a lot. My son, I would say, is probably the biggest part of it. You know, my parents, they've been here, you know, from the beginning. You know, I'm still kind of pissed at my dad because he didn't let me start playing basketball until 15. Who knows what I could have been if I had started earlier, but he made the right decision. Everything happens for a reason. You know, my mom, she doesn't really care about all of this. She just wants me to be healthy and, you know, be able to, you know, do what I love. So that being a big part of it. And then obviously my family, you know, fiance, Arthur, like I said, he's the, you know, obviously losing my brother, and, you know, I think, and then giving his name to my son meant a lot. And he's, you know, my son is, you know, the reason why I'm really sitting here, because I just, you know, when I found out, you know, we were having a kid, I just remember I was like, I gotta be a great role model, and I gotta set a good example. I want him to understand that, you know, his dad, not only was pretty good, but he also worked hard and he went and, took everything he wanted. So he's one of the reasons why, like, my whole mindset just changed. Everything about me just changed. The way I went about my business, my life, everything just changed because I just wanted to be a great father, set a good example, and then obviously there's been a lot of people along the way. If I start going through names, we're gonna be sitting here for a long time. But so they know who they are. I mean, Drew, Kim, the Talon family, were a big part of my rehab. When I got to the league, that really took care of me. It's a lot of people. I got a lot of may seem like I don't have a lot of friends, but I do have a lot of friends. Like I said, that know who they are. My guys from LA. I won't go through names. There's a lot of people, but a lot of people have helped me get here. It would not be possible without those people. They've sacrificed a lot for me. But story's not over. I don't want to say, but it's baby steps, to get, where you want. And, we went all through these years of the process to trying to get, these opportunities. And I think a lot of credit goes to the fans also because they've been so supportive, from the beginning. Showing up to games, even though there were seasons where we won 10 games and EB hanging a banner in the locker room. I remember being pissed about it because my name was up there and I had nothing to do with it because I'm just not a loser. I hate losing. But we went through a lot, whether it's the burner accounts, my guy Sam Hinkie, getting kicked out. And there's a lot that has happened that we had to go through. And I think the fans are a big part of it, always been supportive. And like I said yesterday, this is it's not just, for me, my teammates, the whole organization, the fans, everybody played a big part of it.
You talked a bunch about how you don't care about winning this award. We saw your way emotions went through you last night. You talked about how you dreamt about doing this. I was curious, what has been the thing that's stood out to you about why this matters so much to win this award?
I think a lot of people have this misconception of the difference between being competitive and wanting to win everything possible. I don't want to win this award because it's just the MVP. I want to win it because it means a lot to me. Like I said, I went through a lot, and that's just a validation of that everything, the sacrifices and everything you went through, is paying off in some ways. And, obviously winning a championship is gonna be way better and we have that opportunity. But, I'm just competitive. I want it all. I want to win everything that I can get my hands on, and everybody around me knows that. It doesn't matter if it's about basketball or if you're playing a game, in life or whatever. I want to win everything. I want to be first, and like I said. Now, I know I've always said I don't care, but it was just for you guys to leave me alone and not ask me questions about it. But, I do care in a way that it means that, I just, it validates, like I said, validates everything, all the work that you put in and just to be sitting here is just, is amazing.
You mentioned before how you appreciate being a role model for everybody back home. You're the first person to win MVP who came from a BWB camp. I was curious, especially given your late start and kind of getting your first chance there. I was curious what it means to you to be able to be kind of a trailblazer in that regard, and as part of showing people that they can accomplish things, to be the first person to do that.
Oh man, that's I didn't even know. That's pretty crazy. And like I said, improbable doesn't mean impossible. A lot of us don't get these opportunities to come to the U.S. and get to go to high school and go to college and have a chance, to be on an NBA roster, let alone being an all-star. I was talking to, Luke is another big part of why I'm sitting here, because he gave me, these opportunities, and it's like, oh man, it's crazy. Like, we were just talking about the whole journey of, what it took for me to be here, and he just feels amazing. And like I said, being a role model, and mainly to my African people, that's the best of all, because I want us to succeed. For us to usually achieve something, we have to work, twice as hard as everybody else. And I want them to understand that, yeah, we can do it. It's possible. You just gotta be a little lucky, but it's possible. If you get these opportunities, you gotta, just keep going and believe in your goals, and it's gonna happen.
Just real quick, obviously you just went through shoot around. And how do you feel about tonight? And how have the last couple of weeks been, given I know you spent the season hoping to not have to be in a situation where you're playing through an injury like this and missing time during the playoffs?
Yeah, it's tough. But like I said, my life is a movie. Everything happens for a reason. Every single year, always, something freaky happening, and that's okay. That's another challenge on the way to, getting to where I want to. And obviously it's hard dealing with another injury, and but when something like that happens, you got about a day to, kind of be sad and whatever, and it's time to go back to work and, rehab and try to make sure you do everything possible to be able to get back on the floor. So earlier than we thought, considering what I had, but I'm just glad to, be able to, go up and down, and kind of see how it feels. So we're just gonna take day by day and, see how it feels and go from there.
Okay, so just to clarify, is it still up in the air if you will go tonight, or what are you expecting for tonight's game? And then I have a real question, I promise.
It's a possibility, just like it was a possibility in the first game. But, I'm going to listen to those guys and, see what they have to say, the doctors. And, obviously I want to play. Everybody knows me. I just love being on the court, and I love to play. So there's a possibility, and I got the green light. And then we're gonna go ahead, but like I said, we're just gonna talk about it. But feel pretty good, just like I felt about the game. Last game, I felt like we had a huge opportunity and that we were gonna win. And tonight, whether I play or not, I believe in those guys. Anything can happen, then I think we got a huge chance to win a game.
And then just broader speaking, we've obviously seen the statistical jumps, the numbers you've put up the last couple of years, but when teammates talk about you, they often talk about your leadership strides, and I know that's kind of an intangible thing that can be hard to quantify, but how have you, over the last couple seasons, maybe kind of made a concerted effort to be more of a leader? How have you gone about doing that? Because knowing your personality too, it kind of maybe seems like it might have been a little unnatural for you at times.
I think when it comes to leadership, I don't think that's something that I really push to be. I remember having conversation with, Coach Brown about what kind of leader I should be and what kind of leader I want to be. And, he offered me couple examples. Obviously, he has a lot of history in the game of basketball. Obviously being around the Spurs and Tim Duncan, and how they used to go about their business. And it took me a while to kind of figure it out how I wanted to lead. Obviously, everybody's different. I'm not going to be the guy to just go out and yelling at people or, be all hype and all that stuff. That's just not my personality. But the way I can do it is, by pushing my teammates in a positive way and sometimes in a negative way. Just to get a reaction out of them, because it's all about studying, guys too. Some guys, you want to be as positive as possible, and some guys, you can be, a little bit negative, and they're gonna take it and they're gonna want to be better, and that's also me. I actually like when people are negative. I like when you guys tell me that I can do something, or I can accomplish something, because I'm gonna go out there and the foul night and show you that I can do it. So I think, over the years, I just found a way to just, kind of relate more, with my teammates. Obviously, I don't do anything outside of basketball as far as, whether it's going out and going to dinner. I just hate restaurants and stuff, so that's not me, but sometimes I do it. But I think the guys around me, they've also been extremely helpful. They've allowed me to just be myself, and then also, just take me as I am, and that's been great. And Tyrese is a guy that I would probably put in the position of just understanding me and understanding that, if I'm gonna, criticize him, he knows it's because I want him to be better. Some other guys, in the past, I don't know, or now they might have, took that criticism as like, he's mad, something, he has a problem with me, but no, that's not me. I want to win, and I can't win alone, and I need all of them, and they do understand it. So I think that's why this team is, is different and special.
Joel, there was an interesting video posted last night of you finding out the news and your reaction. It seemed like you let a lot of emotion release, and one of the more poignant moments in the video was James Harden coming over, a former MVP and a guy who's been in your shoes, and he seemed to say a few words to you. Can you talk about, were you relieved? Were you elated? And what did he say to you in that moment?
Honestly, I don't know what was going on in that moment. I really, I told myself, I was like, if I'm gonna win, I'm not gonna have any emotions. I'm not gonna cry, and I'm just gonna, be happy and have a straight face. But I ended up doing the opposite, which that was unexpected. But all the guys, I wanted all the guys to be there, because they're a part of it. They're one of the reasons why I was sitting there and getting that accomplishment. And James is, man, I don't even know where to start. I think since he been here, I think he won't tell me that, but I think he kind of made his goal for me to be the MVP. He's given up a lot, and he's, obviously I've always said it is the best playmaker I've ever played with, and he's the best playmaker probably in the NBA. So he's been helping me as far as, getting me easy opportunities, whether it's to score the ball or just be a better basketball player on and off the court. And, he was just extremely happy for me, just like they all were. And that meant a lot for me. That meant a lot to me, to know that, your teammates care about, you as much as I care about them.
Were there any reactions from the league? It's been, several hours. Has there been a reaction from outside of your team that really resonated with you, whether it be from a guy like Luke or whoever, where you said, wow, I didn't expect to hear from, Tim Duncan or, Hakeem or somebody like that? Has there been a response that you've received that may open your eyes?
No, I just, obviously my people, my friends, I haven't gone through my phone, and whenever I get the time, I'm gonna go through it all and make sure that I thank all of them. And also, I gotta thank all of you guys, for voting for me, and but I'm just I've just been overwhelmed with the love and how much people have been supporting me over the years. And like I said, if I go through the names, that we're gonna be sitting here a long time. But I'm just so appreciative of everything everybody has done for me, and the support they've given me over the years.
Joel, there were points early on in your career where some of your coaches, I'm thinking stories with Bill and Kevin specifically, where they would tell you could accomplish things like this and you didn't believe them. Is there a specific point in your career or a period of time where you started believing that you belonged in a league and that you could accomplish things like this?
Yeah, I think the most memorable one is probably my first game. I know, before that, a lot of people were always telling me, you have, and it goes back to probably, I'll say college, when Coach Self used to tell me that I was going to be a number one pick. As for a kid like me, I was coming into college. I was supposed to be there for 4 years. I remember I wanted the red shirt and probably be there for 5 years because I had no idea that I had the opportunity to go to the league. And he used to tell me, you're going to be a number one pick. And then I was like, man, I've always been told these coaches lie, and, they're going to tell you what you want to hear. And, that's not what they believe in. And that ended up happening. And then obviously my coaches that I've had, whether it's Coach Brown, the Billy Lang, and, so on, like all those guys, telling me about how good I could be. In the back of my mind, kind of believe it, but I didn't. But I believe it because I wanted to also push myself to kind of, not prove those people wrong, and to make sure that they can say that they were right when they said all those stuff. So, but when I first played my first bucket, I remember the turnaround fadeaway jumper. That's when I knew I was like, oh man, it's on. It's about to be scary for everybody else, because he just, I remember calling Drew after the game. I was like, damn, that was easy. My first game, I'm like, playing against Steven Adams, strong dude, and, these guys have been in the league for a long time, man. Well, that was, minute restrictions, 20-point. I was like, pretty easy. I was like, but got a long way to go. But that was probably when I knew that, I could do something special.
So, I mean, how much better does it feel getting this award, coming off a win in Game 1? I mean, this is the first time, in your career you're going to go into Game 2, I think, with a 1-0 lead, and in the semis, your 3 wins from the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, that had to have been, much better than coming off a loss. And where's your mindset at now? And what do you think of this opportunity you guys have?
I told the guys yesterday, we had, about 5 to 10 minutes to celebrate and then move on to Game 2. I think that's where I'm focused on, and that's where, everybody's focused on. So, Game 1 is over. It was a great win, but we understand, one game at a time. And, that was a great win, but, we move on. Tonight is going to be a whole different game. They're going to come at us, and, everybody's got to be ready to respond and then also punch back. So, we focus on tonight, and, this is like James was saying, this is like a Game 7. Like we have to find ways to, try to win this game. We got to do whatever it takes, whatever is possible, to make sure we put ourselves in, positions to win this game. And that's what I focus on. And tonight, we gonna do whatever it takes to make it happen.
Wow, I got to tell you, what a beautiful press conference. What a beautiful press conference. I mean, his own journey, his own story. Just when he speaks heartfelt like that, and he just gives you exactly his raw emotion, it's just beautiful, man. It really is. And look, it is. We say stuff like this it's for the fans, but it is in this weird way. I do feel it. I do feel, for people that have just stuck by this franchise and been a part of something, man. You guys have been a part of it. And so all the people that work for the Sixers and all the Sixer fans and the whole thing, I think it's a collective piece. Obviously, it's Joel's personal achievement, but altogether, I just found it really beautiful, man. It's really kind of the essence of sports and talk about all the time, particularly on this show. We'll come back and we'll talk about it because I think it's just a beautiful thing, man. It's Cuz Radio with the Tunis as we are live. Game 2. We're loving it. We're loving this thing, man. Right here, 97.5 The Fanatic. Hey, let's talk about Royal choked up, you know?
Well, yeah, you think about so much. So, look, I'll pull you behind the curtain, and Chrissy can be my witness. Last night when they posted the video, I played the video during the vault of the team all together when they announced that he won. And I saw Joel get emotional. All of a sudden, I'm like, dude, who's chopping the onions around here? But you think about everything that he has gone through, right? Basketball alone, it was crazy, right? Missing 2 years to start the season, minutes restrictions, getting hurt his first year, getting hurt all the other times, continuing to play hard, continuing to get ripped. Hears it from his own fans sometimes. And then you put basketball to the side, right? The loss of his brother and how much that impacted him. He opened up at the beginning of the press conference saying he blamed himself because he felt like he should have been there. And that would have stopped his brother from, passing away. So, this guy's gone through so much to win the MVP. I mean, it was a beautiful press conference, man.
Yeah. I mean, I just makes you want to just well up. It does. It was just beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Again, and I do think it's metaphorical for the fans. In this way, it's a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift of, it's your guy. There's something special about your guy. And your guy achieves. I mean, if the essence of fandom is rooting for other human beings to succeed for your own joy in competition, then your guy winning an individual award, you should get some sort of feel-good moment for. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. I mean, we've been on the journey too, right? Obviously a little bit different. We're not working out and all that stuff like Joe is, but we're there. We're investing time and money. I've told the story before that I made the point. I was in college when Embiid made his debut, and I had no money, but I had to buy those tickets. I had to be there to see the big man. And I know me and my buddy weren't alone, right? There was a packed house that night just to see Joel Embiid make that debut. And so going all these years through this step by step, yeah, it is something to be proud of if you're a Sixers fan.
Yeah. I mean, I just love it. All those people and look, he went through this, the legion of people that have been involved. And, Tim Hickey got some love, and Brett Brown got some love, and all throughout, Ben got some good hate, and Colangelo got some burner mentions. It's been a wild time. I mean, it really has been. So for him to come full circle from that kid who was a project in Kansas, right? Who had just such great, ridiculous ability, started playing ball at 15, to all the whole process, the 5 years of the second round. I mean, to have all that stuff. I mean, I just thought that was, a great moment. It just was a great moment. And for everybody who loves the Sixers, I just thought a beautiful moment.
Yeah, it's our guy, man. Whether you think they should build around a big man or a guard or not, I know that's still a conversation that we have all the time. But look, Joel Embiid is a member of the Philadelphia 76ers, a team that's up 1-0 in the second round of the playoffs against the Boston Celtics. And he won MVP of the league. And, you're in the playoffs because of him, right? If he doesn't play, God knows, what happens this year. The guy was absolutely dominant this year.
Yeah.
And that crazy record that you brought up, 42-16, I believe were the numbers, that was post Embiid missing some time. And Embiid comes back and goes on a tear and solidifies the MVP award, solidifies them as the third seed in the Eastern Conference, and that's something to be excited about.
I think so. I do. I just think it's something special. Let's get it on the phones a little bit, all right? And let's talk to some our friend Sharif. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Hello, Sharif.
What's up, cuz? How you on this game 2, baby?
I'm feeling good, Reef. I'm feeling good.
Yes. Cuzzo, let me tell you, man, I'm in the car, and I'm heading up to Beantown as we speak.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious because I brought my ticket as soon as Atlanta lost to Boston last week. I went right online, got my ticket, got my Airbnb reservation, got it all mapped out, man, and I'm going up here. I'm one soldier going up on my own, but I'm going, man. I gotta support our boys, man.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's fantastic.
Yes, my brother. I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm so proud more than anything to be a Sixers fan today because I love Joe, man. I mean, just seeing him get so emotional last night and seeing how his teammates really show love to him, man, it made me feel so proud because we done went through the ups and downs and, you know, the injuries and everything. And it's just so good to see our guy, man, doing what he got to do.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it does. It warms your heart. It really does.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, I'm with you. I love the fact that you're going up there.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, I'm going to tell you this because I had called you a few weeks ago and had told you I had went up to Milwaukee this year, went up to Indiana. I done been up to MSG, the Barclays. So I figure like this. We just got to do what we got to do, man. If we could get another one tonight and take that 2-0 lead coming back home, I feel real good about it because I'm a little anxious, but yet I'm a little confident as well.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, I think that's the right way to kind of be. Like I feel pretty good about the game, and certainly the chances. Obviously, you win game one and be safe, man. Have a safe drive up there, brother. And I feel good about that. But you know, look, you're bringing Embiid back. You already took game one. I mean, Tunis, what's not to feel good? And you know they're going to be tight.
Oh, yeah.
Here's how they're going to come out.
Knowing that they're down 1-0, that they need to win. It goes kind of, remember game 3 of the regular season? And it was the game where you were in Arizona, where the Sixers wanted that game more. And they lost, right? And it was like, wow, that was a good win for the Celtics because the Sixers definitely wanted it more. And it's not like that the Sixers were tight in that game. But this is one of those where this is playoffs now. This is not regular season. The Celtics, they might be tight because they know that if they lose, they're down 2-0 going to Philadelphia. That's going to be on their mind.
Dude, I feel the same way. I see it. I'm like, oh my God, this is it, man. Karate Mark is fired up. Karate.
At 7 foot from Cameroon, your league MVP, Joel, the process, and How about it? How about it? That's the most deserving award in the NBA, not as a Sixers fan, as a basketball fan. That is the best player in the NBA, and Joel Hans Embiid deserves it. We deserve it as fans. The league deserves it off of that joker they call out there in the West. The league, the fans, Joel, everybody deserves, basketball fans in general deserves this league MVP award. Gentlemen, do you agree with me?
Of course. Of course.
Flying high today, guys. Flying high today. That win on Monday, it proved three things for us. It proved to the team, you can beat Boston. It proved to us, the fans, the naysayers, we can beat Boston. And it proved to Boston, guess what, Boston? We can beat you. Game 2 coming up. Hans on the court. 2-0 coming back to Philly. See you Friday. See you Sunday. Let's make this a series. It already is a series. Game 2. Guys, do this. Play my song! Play it! Play it! Play it! Play it! Play it!
Oh, man, that's beautiful. Way to go, Karate Mark. Wow. Good day today, man. Good day as we go into Game 2 tonight. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. That's how you reach us. Cuz Radio with the Tunis. Hanging out, as always. Hey, let's talk about Forever Young anti-aging solutions. Right in Center City. I've been telling you about these guys for a while. They are amazing. So when it comes to any of your kind of issues, if you hit 40, 50, you're looking to like, you know what, I got to turn back the clock. And you're thinking, all right, maybe drop some, LBs, semaglutides is the answer. They've been all the rage. You've heard a lot of people talking about when it comes to weight loss. They've now been, the FDA has now approved semaglutides to really help you with weight loss, and it does it. It works when it comes to testosterone therapy, when it comes to HGH, all this stuff, human growth hormone, when it comes to all this stuff that helps turn back the clock and solve all your issues, they have it at Forever Young Anti-Aging Solutions right in Center City. And that's the number 4, as in Forever Young. They use the latest science in bioidentical testosterone replacement and all these wellness treatments. I mean, from IV drip bags that can help you, everything from give you more energy and clear your brain and treat a hangover. They do it all, and it's all about modern technology. They use every resource. Their medical team at Forever Young uses every resource that modern technology offers to help make you feel better, look better, enjoy your life to the fullest. Check them out for an absolutely free initial consultation. They're located in Center City. You can also do the consult online for free. Visit the number 4, everyoungphilly.com. That's the number 4, everyoungphilly.com. Or you can call them, 215-918-4429, 215-918-4429. You can also do the consultation just right online from your house. Look your best, feel your best, and stay forever young.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers Celtics tonight. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this update is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Your small business keeps you on the go. Progressive Commercial Insurance keeps
All right, 12:20. Across the Delaware Valley, 12 o'clock hour, brought to you by our good friends at Service First Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit ServiceFirstHVAC.com. Well, what a fun day, man. Just a fun day. MVP, and I'm looking forward to our next guest joining us every week. He's terrific from the Inquirer, Inquirer.com. Raised, as he says, in the 700 level. Matt Breen on the Comcast Business Hotline. Matt, what do you say, my man? Matt. We got Matt Tunis?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I got you now. What do you say, my brother?
I think I was lost in the 700 level there for a second.
I think you were, yes.
And I say raised there because that's all we had, right? That's where Northeast Philly sat. I don't know who sat down low, but that was not my neighborhood.
No. 700 level was we were used to that. The 700 level was a great neighborhood, man.
I didn't want anything else. That's all I wanted. I was fine there. That's good enough.
Every once in a while, you would be able to sneak down because we knew a lot of people who worked at the vet, and you'd sneak down and you get down low. But I used to always look. You always remember. Do you remember the picnic area at the vet? Right.
That's before my time.
Okay, so there was like this picnic area right along the left field line, right? And you would look, and you could actually put your hand on the ground, like on a ground ball, and get a foul ball. Like that was like, I remember watching that with envy. Like, oh, I'd love to sit there and be able to snatch a ground ball.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah, exactly. So a couple things. One, did you hear the Joel news conference?
I did not.
Okay,
I saw the report today that he says he's back tonight.
Yes. So he gave the MVP. I want to talk about MVP with you first before we talk about the series. But it was a beautiful speech that he made for his MVP award, and he obviously talked a lot about his own personal journey and his life's like a movie. And then he went in and he thanked a lot of the people. He also said, he was like, listen, it's for the fans and everything. And, when you throw that out there, a lot of times it's just, it's something you say. But this kind of thing is for the fans. Like when you root for someone, you root for a team, and you root for another human being playing sports and achievement, and they win that is a shared thing. It's symbolic for fandom. And there's so many MVP award winners, right? Like I have it, Matt, right here, the list. So Sixers, you got Wilt, Doc, Moses, AI, Embiid, Clark, Lindros, Bryce, Chuck Klein, Constantine, Mike Schmidt, Jimmy, Peace, and Norm Van Brocklin. And that's in all of Philadelphia sports. That's the list, the composite list of MVPs.
Yeah, because 3 of the 4 sports, it's just an MVP. Where baseball, you have 2 MVPs every year. But I agree that it is like it's not a championship, and obviously, no one's going to have a parade tomorrow that Embiid won.
Right.
It's a nice, it's a reward for everybody that you stood by this guy when he had his foot injuries, when he was the Shirley Temples and all the nonsense in the beginning, and the outside noise, and the fans stood by him, and it's a long time coming. It's not like this was the first year that he was on the cusp of winning the MVP. It's been like you've kind of been waiting for him to win this the last few seasons, and then he finally wins it. And it reminds me of like Eric Lindros when he won the MVP in the early '90s, and he gave that speech, and he was crying, saying it was for the fans, and it was thanks for the Philadelphia fans that stood with me when we weren't so good. We're getting better, and, we're getting there. And it was like that to me is like an iconic moment, and that's not even when they got to the Stanley Cup final. That's just when they won the MVP. I mean, when Lindros won the MVP before, the Flyers had really, really taken off in the mid '90s. So, yeah, the MVP when Bryce Harper won the MVP, like that was the Phillies didn't make the playoffs that year, but yet that still was a pretty awesome moment that he won the MVP in 21. and it's something to celebrate. It's not. It's of course. You're not going to raise the banner for the MVP, but it's definitely a reward for Embiid and for the city that the guy you supported has been recognized today as the best player in the league.
Exactly. And that's that's from a fan perspective. That's a big deal, man. And you get to share in it. You follow this team through the process. You followed it through the 5 years of getting ousted, not getting past the second round. So I'll ask you, does it feel different to you this year?
It does. Like I said when we talked last, that I don't know. I just think you couldn't really, in the past runs, I felt like you could never look past the series, and you couldn't envision. Like you thought they were good enough to get to the conference finals or good enough to get to the NBA finals, but you couldn't really envision it. Where this year, I'm not looking past the Celtics, but I'm looking like that. I started this series going into Monday night thinking they could beat the Celtics, and then you're starting to think, all right, well, they're going to get the Heat or the Knicks. They can, they will match up pretty good against those teams. I know Jimmy Butler and everything, but if you were playing one of them in the Eastern Conference Finals, you're going to take them. Next thing you know, you're in the NBA Finals, and it's like, yeah, it's the best Sixers team of this process ever, and Embiid's playing, when he's on the court, is playing the best he's been in this tenure, and James Harden obviously on Monday night was amazing. So I think it does feel different. It just feels like where Embiid. There was no questions asked that he deserved the MVP last night, where maybe in the last years he deserved it, but, you could make a case against him where it was a slam dunk and the vote showed it. And that's where I just think it's different, that he's always been great, but he's, on a different level this season when healthy.
He is. So let me ask you tonight, how do you feel when you're sizing this game 2 up? And it's interesting because when you looked at game 1, Boston looked pretty tight down the stretch. They look a little different. They look vulnerable, and Boston did look tight down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, the pass to Maxey is his definition of being tight at home. Maybe they were feeling the Bruins pressure from the night before. I don't know. Going into that without Embiid, once he was ruled out, you're thinking how are they going to do this? And then they just hung with them the whole first half. You just feel like just be within striking distance at halftime. That's exactly where they were. And then get to the fourth quarter, and it's like, all right, we have a game. That's all you needed was one quarter. And it was a fourth quarter pretty even. And next thing you know, the one team looked tight and one team didn't. And it was like, to me, I look at tonight as, I heard someone saying yesterday about house money and you already won one game. It's like, no, that's not, it's not, this isn't a, baseball 3-game series at Dodger Stadium where you won a game or two, or, it's like, that's not what this is. This is every game. You have to win every game. Next thing you know, it's, you're trailing if you have that mindset. So
yeah,
you have to win tonight. If Embiid plays, that's incredible. But worst case scenario, it's a best of 5 series with home court advantage in Philadelphia. So that's the positive side. But if you win tonight, I just think there's no looking back. And we had talked about, the net series being like a free pass, and look how refreshed Harden was from his, 8 days off. So that's how important that was, where one team got a free pass, the other team had a slugfest with the Hawks. And I think that was another thing, not just being tight, maybe just being exhausted.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right about that. I do. We're talking to Matt Bree from the Inquirer.com. The Harden story is fascinating, right? Because, the people were talking about the Vegas thing, and then he comes in and he's dressed like, the Cookie Monster, right? He's like a flying Cookie Monster coming in. And I had asked Tim Legler earlier in the day, I go, is he capable of carrying it, right? Is he capable of going off and giving you one of those vintage Harden nights? And he said, yeah, listen, he goes, and he expected it. He said, I think he'll play real at ease knowing that it's not about anybody else, but he could just carry the load. And lo and behold, he did it, man.
That shot, that's the funny thing about sports is you don't know what that shot means right now. It could just be like another shot. If they lose the Celtics, it doesn't mean anything. But if they advance and this team goes to the NBA Finals, that shot is an all-time, not just Sixers moment, a Philadelphia sports moment. Just absolutely incredible, and it was vintage James Harden. It wasn't a catch and shoot. It was a one-on-one street ball. He knew what he had. He had his guy. He had Horford, and it was just down a point. Just to shoot that, that's such onions. And it was just, I don't know. I mean, I think that has a chance to be 10 years from now, you're talking about, where were you that night? What was your reaction to the Harden shot? And it's just, it's one of those moments. Like the Philly special is an iconic moment because Eagles won the Super Bowl. If they lose that game, it's just a gadget play, So that's the thing about sports. It's we have to wait to see the full picture. But I texted my brother the next day. I'm like, if they advance, it was just, I don't know. It's one of those moments you're so glad you saw it, and it was so awesome in the moment, and you're thinking about wow, what is that going to mean if this team advances? And then you think back to how excited was the city when they got Harden a year plus ago, and that's why, because it's a shot like that and a night like that.
We were talking today. Today was interesting because today's the Tyronn Lue's birthday. And that's an iconic moment. The step over, the AI step over is an iconic moment. The pop up and Boone and Rose with the catches the carom off of out of Bob Boone's glove is one of those moments. It's funny that you said that shot is that was an incredible shot. I mean, it's stuff that it capped it. Like you brought up, just stay close. And the first half, I mean, they're attacking the rim at ease. They shot 88%, and you look up, and there's no margin. That was the thing that even I go, wow, my God, they're still in this game.
The Harden shot, just to go back to real quick, is the Robert Horry shot from 01. So we finally were able to feel what that felt like. You knew what Robert Horry's shot felt like. Now you get to know what James Harden's shot feels like on the opposite end of that. And it was like the Celtics were playing, the best game they could play in the first half, and the shooting percentage was absurd. They were getting inside. You were like, wow, they're owning the lane without Embiid, and then like you said, you look up and there's no margin, 4-point lead, 7-point lead, and then next thing you know, it's back to 2, and it seemed like the Celtics were doing whatever they wanted, yet they still could not pull away in that first half, and it was just so important just to set the tone. And then it wasn't a moral victory. It was a huge win, and we'll see what happens. But that win, that shot could be something we're talking about forever.
So what do you think? And I'm curious. We had on, and maybe you don't know this because when we have Matt on, we're going to be doing kind of going around the horn with all Philadelphia sports. Did you hear what Adam Schefter said about the Eagles' defensive coordinator search after what Jonathan Gannon did? Judas, can you play that for Matt just to give him a little insight? So this is Adam Schefter this morning with our morning show, John Kincaid, and this is what he had to say.
Well, the interesting part about it would be this. I think that it impacted a lot of people's lives. Vic Fangio, for example, probably would not have taken the Dolphins coordinator job and would be the defensive coordinator in Philadelphia today if everything was on the up and up. And so it didn't just impact the Cardinals and their job and Jonathan Gannon. It impacted others as well. And so the Eagles defense coordinator, Sean Desai, and they really like him a lot, and he has got a bright future. But he might not be the guy if everything had been done the way it should have been.
Is that nuts?
Yeah, I'd seen that this morning when I woke up, and I'm still kind of confused. I don't why did, and maybe I'm missing something, but why did that stop Vic Fangio from taking the Eagles job? You know what I mean?
Had he? So the problem was the timing. He had said he wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And then he had committed. And then he committed. So the problem is, if he leaves the door open, then you get him I got you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so the whole thing was sneaky, and it's always it just always seems like such a kind of a problem when the further teams advance, and And obviously those teams have the coordinators that other teams want as head coaches. And, you can get interviews this week, but you can't get them that week. And it's just weird. And the thing is, like, I understand everybody wants to be a head coach in the NFL, but you worked all season and your whole life really to get to the Super Bowl. Like, just buckle down. If that's your focus for, 2 weeks, and tell this team, and that team should respect that too, because it's all in the same business. But I'm excited about Sean Desai. I mean, maybe because he went to Temple, or he was, he stopped at Temple. Maybe that's why. Yeah. But he just seems like, once he was a candidate, I started researching him, and it seems like one of those like bright young minds in football that the Eagles were lucky to get. So I'm excited about him, and I think Jonathan Gannon's like good riddance. I don't know. I just think you're seeing more character now coming out, like saying that the media wanted him fired after the Commanders game last year, and I don't know. It just seems like kind of, even like when he said we're gonna gut them before the NFC Championship game, which was just like, it was cornball stuff. Like
it was fake. It was fake meow. And by the way, it was ridiculous because he was never that attacking style defense. So what do you mean you're gonna gut him like a fish? You're not an attacking defense, which is fine, except in the Super Bowl you can't just go passive and just let a one-legged Mahomes gut you like a fish, John.
When that was the whole story, and like, I will never know because the turf and whatever, but the whole story going into it was like, how are they going to stop, the front four of the Eagles? And they never attacked. They never, they didn't send the blitz. So they never got to Mahomes, and it's just another layer. Like, we had the turf to talk about, but now we have a defensive coordinator, one leg in, one leg out, and it just, I don't know. That guy's always kind of came off weird in stuff I saw throughout the year. And it just seems like, Marcus Hayes, for us, wrote a column the other day about how angry the Eagles were and about all this. And it just seems like they're just as mad as, the fans are and as everybody else. So if the team is upset, it goes to tell you that they're probably more. It wasn't like this was like their favorite guy in the world and this happened. It seems like there, was probably maybe something, things all season were leading to this, and that this was kind of the one that, the top of the cherry on the top.
Yeah. Speaking of the Birds, how about Howie? And has there been anyone in town, and I guess maybe Charlie could be close to this, who has gone from like that, public, outcry, public ridicule, that stuff, to being a champion of the people?
Yeah, Charlie's a good one, but it would have to be like Charlie went to, manage AAA and then came back and won the World Series. But it's a good one because everybody wanted him fired, and he was just like, everyone thought he was a hillbilly, and next thing you know, he's this iconic manager. But Howie, once the Lions drafted Gibbs in the first round, I was like, well, what's that mean for Swift? Because everybody was like, Swift, like, for whatever reason, I love Swift. He's probably my favorite running back in football. I just think there's so much untapped potential there. And I'm thinking, well, he's just fallen out of favor randomly. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's injuries. It's like, no. It's like, if you watch the Lions the last few years, it was just weird. He would get them to the goal line, and the next thing you know, Jamal Williams gets a carry at the goal line. Or he has a great week this week, and next week and then they're like, oh yeah, he's gonna get a full load next week, and he hardly plays any snaps. And it's just so weird. Where like it just seemed like they, for whatever reason, didn't like him, fell out of favor. But when he was on the field, he was so electric. He was electric in college, and everybody obviously knows what he did in high school here. So when they drafted Gibbs, I'm like, that would be amazing if they were able to trade for Swift. Yeah. But it's one of those things that's like, it's too good to be true. So it's like, I'm not going to get hopes up. It's not going to happen. And then later on, somebody points out that that Montgomery trade, like what that cost, the cost of that was like a 6th round pick or something. So like when nothing happened day 2, I'm like, okay, so if it's going to happen, it has to happen day 3. It's got to happen today. Maybe it's going to happen. I texted my brother again. I'm like, man, how amazing would it be? Because we're just, we have Swift in fantasy and just big fantasy guys and love Swift. I'm like, how amazing would it be if the Eagles got Swift? And it's like, obviously, too good to be true. Next, I'm texting them chapter tweet. I'm like, holy, I can't believe it happened. So I think the draft is great. I mean, obviously the draft was, awesome, but the fact that you get DeAndre Swift, who I'm telling you, like, it's, Alvin Kamara at his prime is what DeAndre Swift is. He's, out of like the start of last year, they were using him the right way. He was running all these routes. He had the most routes in football in the first couple of weeks. And there's just so much you can do with this guy that I heard someone as a question mark. They have a question mark. It's like, this guy's not a question mark. He's really he's a special dude. Like he's, and I'm not saying that because he's from Philly. Just like he's just really, really good. And it's an all-time. Honestly, it's an unbelievable trade that they were able to get him for virtually nothing.
Yeah. Hey, Matty, great stuff, my brother. You got anything coming out soon that you want us to read, look for?
So it's just funny. Like I have like all this stuff, and then it's like a week where I'm like, oh my God, I have nothing to do. And next thing you know, it's like I got 6 things going on. But I'm working on this story where this is cool. It's the Frankfurt baseball coach. Because that's the thing. I jumped from pros to high school and whatever I think is a good story for Philly. Frankfurt baseball coach. Frankfurt's always one of the best public league teams. He had breast cancer last year, which is uncommon for a male to get breast cancer, obviously. Beat breast cancer over the off season. When he was recovering, he said, I just want to get back to coaching his players, checking in with them, sending them stuff and texting them. And he gets cleared, and now they're getting ready for the playoffs. And just how this Juan Nanan, this, really in Philly baseball circles, like an all-time winning baseball coach, how he overcame breast cancer to kind of gave him a clear mind going into where he's back where he belongs on the sidelines with his team.
Wow.
So I got a lot of stuff going on, but that's like the one that's on top of my head right now because I was at their practice yesterday.
That's awesome. That's beautiful, man. Listen, keep it up. You do such a great job, dude. I mean, seriously. So we'll talk to you next week, but keep up the great work, brother. Love visiting with you. Here he is, Matt Breen from the Inquirer, inquirer.com. So check him out and check that story out. Sounds incredible. Let's talk about the Bet Parks app. Yes, it's Bet Parks time. And
Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic.
All right. Welcome back. Cuz Ray with the Tunis. Already did that, my man, by the way.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, no worries.
I was on the phone with Matty Breen probably when that was happening.
It's great. We love Matt. So he's got a great way about it. He does great work. He's a really, really good writer. He's born and bred. He's bred from the soil. So I love that. And, I always think that's a lot of fun. All right, we have a lot of people I want to get to. We have an hour left, and I really want to talk to you guys. And let's get hype. And can we get some maybe hype bells going over the next hour?
Yeah,
maybe
I think
throw
I can
a little
make that
MVP
happen.
stuff in there.
It's
Some
game 2 tonight,
one.
man.
I know. I want to start getting a little hype over the last hour and get nuts. Let's go to Aaron. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Aaron.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
I got you, Aaron. What's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy. Let me tell you something, man. It's like Joel Embiid, man. He went through the process. Out of all that tanking we did, the Sixers did, man, he's the only gem left. And he's going to win it all this year for us.
That's
We're
right.
going to win this year, and I feel it.
You feel it, buddy? You feel it, huh? I love it.
Yeah, I feel it, man, because if he comes back, we can beat the Celtics. I said this before. I told my son this. We can beat them. And then we can come out the East, and I'm not scared of the West. It's time to bring a championship back in Philadelphia. All right? And, Andrew, I want you to play that song, but I got to get with you for one thing. Bill Walton's supposed to be on the list.
Yeah, you think so? You put him on the list, Bill Walton?
Yeah, because he was right next to ML Carr, swinging the joint. He was swinging the towel right along with him. He beat us in the 77 championship. I never forgive him. He was making these dumb faces every time Larry Bird or somebody did something good on the sideline. I can't stand Bill Walton. And you need the chief, Robert Parrish, on the list.
He's on the list.
Oh, was he on the list?
Yeah. The chief is, in case people missed it, I did a top 40 Celtics, the Celtics we hate. This is, where's Parrish at? Parrish is number 11.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good place for him.
Yeah,
So, number 10.
Number 11.
should be
Yes.
Bill Walton.
You
Number
like,
10 is Bill Walton.
well, no, he's not number 2. I got
10,
Bird, Ainge.
10. Number 10.
Oh, number 10. All right. Well, we'll work on it. I don't know if he cracks the top 10, but I hear you.
Brother, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, buddy. You got it. You got it after the win.
Oh, wait, he did say he was going to say play the song.
Play the song. Play it for him. Play it for Aaron.
I hope y'all keep trusting the process.
Stephanie, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Steph.
Hey, what's going on? I'm so
What's
psyched.
happening, Steph?
I'm so psyched. I can't even talk. Congratulations to Embiid. I'm so happy for him. And I just wanted to tell you about my wall of fame that I have down in my basement.
Oh yeah.
What
do you got? What do you got? I want to hear.
I got Dr. J. I got Moses. I got Bill Russell. I got Billy Cunningham, Darryl Dawkins, Stevie Nicks, Ollie Johnson, Clint Richardson, and more of the Sixers. We used to go to the games, and we used to sit there and until the end. And all of a sudden, when everything cleared out, the usher would come up, and we would pick a guy from the other team and say, "We're waiting for our cousin," and name a guy, and he told us to go back to the tunnel. Can you tell us where the tunnel is? And the usher would just escort us right back to the tunnel, and we go back there in the locker room and wait for them to come out of the locker room. And they were so nice. Oh my God, we have so many conversations with them, showing them albums of the pictures that we took. They were nicest guys ever. It was
great. That's fabulous. I love Ollie Johnson is bust out.
Yeah,
Steph,
right?
You're rocking Ollie Johnson. That's
Yeah, I
impressive.
got all pictures with every one of them. It was great. I'm so excited for that wall. And I
awesome.
always wanted to tell everybody, and now was my chance to tell everybody about my wall of fame.
That's beautiful. I love it. Are you going to be watching the game down there?
Oh, Friday, I'll be there. Yeah,
I love
me and
it.
my son will be there.
Very
How
cool.
do I get back there to see Embiid and Maxey and Harden? How do I get back there now?
That's awesome. Oh, man, I love it. Thanks for sharing that, Steph.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Root him in tonight. I know you will. So, Tunis, one of the things that I loved from Embiid's speech was he talked about Maxey. He gave him like a really good love. He gave good love to Maxey. He gave good love to Harden. And it was really like heartfelt. Then, of course, the great omission as a teammate was Simmons, where, he was referencing him without saying his name. But I loved what he said about Maxey and Harden.
Yeah, he was very thankful. I have the Harden clip. I don't have the Maxey. I want to hear the James Harden clip.
He started the whole thing. Yeah, I do. He started the whole thing with Maxey.
Yes,
which I thought was interesting.
He gave him a lot of love. He talked about how I'm paraphrasing here, but that Maxey understands that when he's hard on him, it's all out of love and wanting to get better. And it seems like they have that kind of a relationship. And it's funny. He was asked a question about leadership and how that's changed over the years for him. And he talked about that as well. And obviously that's akin to how he's been trying to help out Tyrese Maxey. But here's the clip on Harden talking about sacrificing a lot. Harden sacrificed a lot for Embiid to win.
James is, man, I don't even know where to start. I think, since he's been here, I think he won't tell me that, but I think he kind of made his goal for me to be the MVP. He's given up a lot, and he's, obviously I've always said it is the best playmaker I've ever played with, and he's the best playmaker probably in the NBA. So he's been helping me as far as, getting me easy opportunities, whether it's to score the ball or just be a better basketball player on and off the court. And, he was just extremely happy for me, just like they all were. And that meant a lot for me. That meant a lot to me to know that, your teammates care about, you as much as I care about them.
Wow, that's awesome, man. It really was. That's beautiful.
By the way, speaking of Harden, after Embiid was done speaking to the media, Harden actually gave Embiid a Rolex.
Yeah, gave him a Rollie.
Yeah, it said 2022-23 MVP on the back of it.
Yeah.
It's a good teammate right there.
That's a great. And guess what? He must be, what's funny? I don't know what happened in the past with Westbrook. I mean, there was Durant and Westbrook. They were kind of a kooky team, right? Like a lot of characters, and they all come together then with Kyrie, and it was weird, right? Like the three of them had a weird dynamic. But I don't know, since he's been here, man, everybody loves him.
Yeah, our biggest issue with him is the rumors.
No, I'm talking about his teammates.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I remember, I think it was actually Nick Claxton, so, bring his name back up in the conversation after taking cheap shots at Embiid. But there was a video that circulated after the Sixers traded for Harden. It was one of these, on the Nets website, and it was Claxton talking about how good he is with the younger players. And during the summer, when it was all the rookies and second-year players and potential, G League players, Harden was there playing with them. And it was, he loves basketball, lives basketball. It's almost like Jalen Hurts in football. But he also loves helping out the younger players. And that's why I remember last year we saw a couple of times Maxey and Harden getting into it. And people got concerned right away, like, oh, my God, he's going to be toxic for Maxey.
Right.
No, he's trying to help one of the younger players and to grow his game. And look at how good of a season Maxey had this year.
I know. He really did. He had a great season. He had a great season.
And that kind of leadership, look what happened in game 1 of the playoffs against the Celtics.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting about that too is that people like all around that team, they really do like he knows the game. Like, look what he did for Doc when it comes to moving top and top and Tobias, their roles. He knows the game a lot. I think if he leaves, I think it's more personal why he would leave, and not. This is kind of what I understand, and nothing to do with the Sixers or anything else. That's kind of what I'm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's go to Jordan. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Jordy.
Hey there. Thanks for taking my call. How you guys doing?
Good, buddy. What's happening, man?
Yeah, I'm a long-time listener. It's not my first time calling, but it is my first time getting through.
Awesome. Well, welcome, man.
And waiting long enough. Yeah, thank you. So I just realized this morning that the Sixers not only have home court now in this Boston series, we're, I guess, basically the number one team in the playoffs now. If we win every game at home going forward, we're the champions.
Yeah, how about it? How about that?
Yeah, we got.
You're right about that. Yeah, that's a great way to look at it too. That if you win every home game from here on out, we're going to, we're on Broad Street. I mean, that's a profound way to look at it.
Yeah, man. So that was just an exciting thought for me this morning.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course that was one of the most wholesome press conferences, and the reaction last night was just so good. I love this team, man. It's a different team than we've had before. With that Melton Maxey interview, you could just tell these guys are cold-blooded these days, and that I don't feel like we had that except for maybe Jimmy a couple of years ago. But
yeah.
But it's a different feeling. So
it's a great point that you bring up. I feel you. They do feel ready to win. And again, I don't want to blow one game out of proportion, but look, they swept Brooklyn, and then you go in on the road and beat that team without Joel. I think, Jordy, you're right on, man. I think they're ready. I think they are ready to win. I think they're just ready to win. And sometimes you got to go through. You got to bang your head on that ceiling. Bang your head on the ceiling, and then, things break right for you.
Haven't lost yet, so.
Amen, brother. Amen,
all right.
man.
Man.
Listen, you got to get in again, all right? Because great call.
I will.
Good stuff, pal. No, I mean, look, they haven't lost, Tunis, right? We've been talking about this for a bit, that it feels different surrounding them. It's like stuff around them feels different.
Yeah, and it goes back to just the beginning of the season, right? We talked about how this team was finally built differently, but, in a better way for the NBA playoffs. And that's what it was. I mean, we even had a caller mention it yesterday that this team was built for the playoffs. Like, PJ Tucker was not going to give you numbers during the season, right? But he gives you something on the court during the playoffs that not many other players give you, which is why after the Heat series last year, Embiid mentioned PJ Tucker by name, Danny Green, George Niang, multiple other members of the Sixers talked about the physical toughness that they lacked that Miami had, and clearly that was about PJ Tucker. Earlier in the season, you get the trade, Jalen McDaniels to Matisse Thybulle. And who knows what Matisse Thybulle's going to do for the Trailblazers down the road. But the way he was playing wasn't really, it lacked something. And Jalen McDaniels, even though he's only playing, 8 to 12 minutes, he brings a physicality that Matisse Thybulle didn't really give you. And, oh, by the way, he can also create a shot. Now, he doesn't finish great around the rim either, but at least he can create a shot, get past the defender, and if he doesn't take the shot, now somebody's open from three. Right, in the corner, on the wing, and that's something that McDaniels does that Matisse Thybulle could never do. The trade earlier, before the season started, for DeAnthony Melton, a 3-and-D guy that he was in the starting lineup for a little bit this year because Tyrese Maxey was coming off the bench, but ultimately this was going to be a bench piece for you, a guy that could score and play defense off the bench, which the Sixers rarely had over the last couple of years. He could do both coming off the bench.
Yeah.
When do you see that in the NBA? A guy that can do both? A 3-and-D guy off the bench? You don't really see that.
Now, again, it's funny because the first half he looked a little overwhelmed, but then I thought he contributed nicely in the second half. I thought he found himself.
Yeah. So this team's just they've been built for the playoffs. I'm really glad that Doc Rivers is stuck with Paul Reed as the backup 5. Forget him starting the last 2 games. I mean the backup 5 where when he's out there for 10 minutes, he's at least going to give you something that we know DeAndre Jordan wasn't going to give you. Dwayne Dedman was not going to give you, right? Like over the last couple of years, you bring in these veteran backup bigs that haven't provided much for you. So you have a Paul Reed who, yeah, he might still be raw, and I sometimes get skittish when he's out on the court, but at least he's giving you something that other bigs have not given you the last couple of years in the playoffs. This team's just been built for the playoffs since day one this year.
Yeah. Well, guess what? When you look at them, and again that whole feel going into tonight, you go in and you go, look, I could win this series right now. And I think tonight, here's how I think the rhythm of the game goes. Boston comes out and they look great early, right? Like they get out to a little bit of a lead, they get a little margin, right? Because remember, Embiid coming back hasn't played 2 games. You're out. He's been sitting a week and change, so it's going to take him a little time to kind of, shake the rust off. I could see Boston, coming out and looking real good. Maybe they're up. They got some margin at the end of the first quarter. They're up at halftime. 5, 6, 7, and then you got to grind away. You grind away, and then you hope to make the game tight in the fourth quarter. And same thing where all of a sudden, it's the fourth quarter, and the Boston Bucks get tight.
Yeah, and Game 3 and Philly's looming, right? And you're going, oh, my God, man, we go down here. We're down 2-0 going to Philly. So, yeah, you kind of just keep with the same recipe. And you got the big man out there hopefully tonight that's going to help. And the big thing, you and I talked about this at length yesterday, the 88% field goal percentage for the Celtics in the first half. If Joel Embiid's playing, that's not happening.
Well, no, because you look at the shot chart, it's all dots around the rim.
Right.
So all dots, what that was. That was look, they got to the rim at ease. And I thought the game was moving really, really fast for B-ball Paul in the first half. And I also think that Doc told him, dude, I need you in the lineup, all right? So I need you not to commit the silly fouls.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point because if he goes down, then what? Now you're in trouble. Now you're at Tucker and Harris for the rest of the game, or God forbid, Dwayne Dedman. Yeah. So yeah, it's a good point.
And I just think that's kind of what happens. I think that's the key to it. All right, let's keep it going. Oh wait, let's think in Billy. Billy, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Bill.
Yo, cuz.
Yo, Bill. What's happening, buddy?
Oh, man, I'm so excited. I had to take off work tonight. I just can't do it.
You did? You take it off?
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Oh, yeah, I'm off.
Where do you work at?
I'm sick with excitement. I got to be honest with you.
That's great.
Now, you guys were talking about it just now, so it's fitting that I finally get through. But, I do think we scratch and claw through this series and finally get the monkey off our back with beating Boston. And I do feel like, whether it's the Knicks or the Heat, that we got a good shot to be in the finals this year. I don't want to jinx it, but that's why I'm so excited, because if we can sneak game 2, I feel like finally we got through this barrier, this wall of Boston. But I am skeptical of what you guys were just talking about, and you hit it on the head because you were scared to mention a couple of Sixers you didn't want to get in there, but the bench from the West is just so deep. It just makes me nervous. Denver's bench, even the Lakers now, their bench. I mean, I don't know how our bench can really stand the 7-game series versus the West as of right now.
Yeah, I can't even think about that. I said earlier I like Denver. This was before the series with Phoenix, and they were up 2-0. I mean, I'm sure Phoenix will try to come back. Phoenix has no bench. I think that's their biggest problem is they just get worn out. I think Denver comes out, and I mean, I just think that could be a great series. Battle the MVPs. Yeah, and remember the game when everybody played here. The Sixers win. The beauty about the NBA Finals, it's spread out. That you're not. It doesn't matter as much. Like you can get by on your rotation.
They have Denver is 8, almost 9 guys that play over 20, 25 minutes a game.
I know. Yeah, but I hear you. But you like the Sixers starters, right?
I love the Sixers starters, and I love what PJ Tucker's been able to do. Sometimes I wish he could do a little bit more because he torched us in the past. But he has that tenacity that we just need to see. But once you get past that, I mean, what else can we put on a guy like Porter Jr. or Caldwell Pope and Brown? I mean, and Green.
I mean, these are just guys. I mean, Caldwell Pope. I mean, if I got to stay up at night for Caldwell Pope, brother, I got to tell you, I'm not taking my chances.
He's giving guys like Jamal Murray and Gordon rest.
Yeah, again, but this finals is spread out. I can't. And here's the one thing. Listen, I think they're a good team, all right? But I can't be worried about the Denver series when this is game 2 of Boston. This series isn't over. I don't, I can't at this point, in good conscience, be worried about talking about Denver when I'm worried about this series. I mean, come on, brother. I mean, I think at this point, you got to just wait, all right? And, you can't worry about this, any of that stuff right now. Not with not heading into game 2. I don't want to say it's a violation, but you know what I'm talking about. Right, Tunis?
Yeah, let's focus on this one.
Yeah.
Yesterday we had a couple people saying, bring out the brooms.
Yeah, no, we can't do that yet. All right? We cannot do that.
Game 2 tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a series. Like, let's focus. Stay focused. We got plenty of time to talk about Caldwell Pope. All right? All right, let's talk about Daniels Plumbing. I love these guys. I love Daniels Plumbing. It's funny. I like to pride myself in knowing people and knowing All right, welcome back. Cuz Radio with Chunas. All right. We got people I want to talk to. 610-632-0975. You get hyped up. And I need bells, Chunas.
Yes.
Can you get me with some bells?
Would you like them now?
I want them now, and I want them at the end of the show. So I want to bookend this segment with bells.
Okay.
Get me nuts, Chunas.
Tucker to Maxey. Maxey guarded by Derek White. He's a very good perimeter defender. And now Harden on the left wing. Driving on Derek White. Pulls up left side. Jumper good. 15-footer to the left of the lane. Right by the Sixers bench. There's Harden against Grant Williams. Pull-up shot by James is good. Harden has great separation. Great lift on that play for him. Harden already in the game with 9. He's had 2 threes. He has it outside right. Guarded by Smart. Reed with the screen. Another 3 by James. It's good. Harden is on fire early. And the Sixers take a 5-point lead. Tobias thought it was about a 3. Robert Williams guards him out front. Sixers spread the court. He tries to take him off the bounce. Kicks it out to Belt. Right side for 3. And that's good. Paul Reed gathers it in. Now to Tobias. Harris back over to Belt. 3-point shot right side. Good. Melton is on fire for the Sixers. Here comes Maxey. Paul Reed sets the screen. Maxey drives, floater over Brown. It's good. Maxey with great touch. And to be able to see him do that off that banged up knee is maybe just as important. Sixers ball, 7:15 to go. Tucker in the third quarter screens for Harden. Harden with a pull-up shot on Horford. It rims and goes. He got it off the side of the rim, high into the air, and then in. And the Sixers 76, Boston 74. Into the lane, Tatum. No good. He missed the layup. He may have been tripped. Harden with a Sixers ball. 1:40 to go. Into the lane. Maxey driving down Brogdon. Down the lane. Right-hand layup. He's tripped up. He scored it. And a foul. A block on Boston. And Maxey with a layup. Sixers cut it to 111-109. Back out to Smart. Ball fake. Dribble move. Into the lane. And now back out to Tatum. 2 to shoot. Brogdon with it. Brogdon will he get out? No! He throws it to Maxey. And don't call it. And Maxey gets a layup. Boston had almost a 24-second shot clock violation, but they threw it right to Maxey, and Maxey dunks the ball. Here comes the finale of Game 1. Harden with it. 15 seconds to go. Horford has him out top. James with a dribble. Harden one-on-one. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Harden for 3. Shot up. It's good. Harden made a triple. The Sixers go up by 2. 8 seconds to go. Boston takes time. Sixers 117. Celtics 115. James Harden from out front. Nailed a 3. Reed can make it 119-115. 4.6 to play. Foul line right. 2 dribbles. Bends his knees. Puts it up. And in. Paul Reed has given the Sixers a 4-point lead. Boston is Smart. Smart at midcourt. The Sixers let him shoot a 3. It's up. It's no good. And the Sixers have won Game 1. Paul Reed with 4 free throws down the stretch. And the Sixers win 119-115. How about that?
How about that? Shooters! Dude, that's awesome. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Let's go to Jerome. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Rome.
Cuz, what's going on, man?
What's up, Rome? What's happening?
Not much, man. How's the Achilles?
I'm good. I'm getting there.
Okay. What's up, Chunas, man? How's the pharmacist doing, man?
Oh, dude, he's doing great, man. Pharmacist's doing great.
Yeah, it's fun time when they're walking around. They can eat what you eat, right?
Oh, yeah. He's moving around all over the place. It's crazy.
That's what's up. Hey, look, first of all, Embiid should be 3-time MVP.
Yes.
So, I mean, I know it's great that he won it, but he should have won it 2 other times on top of that. So,
yeah.
Take it where you get it.
Yeah.
Man, don't it feel good to be relevant again, cuz?
Oh my God.
Man.
It's been a long time. You know, we a lot of people from the younger generation may not even realize how long it is, Jerome. You remember, like, after AI and that step over, it's a long time, man.
Yeah, man. You're looking at going to the Western Eastern Conference Finals, man, if you get past Boston.
Yeah.
You know, so, hey, look, it's been a minute. I know it feels great, man. And to the previous caller, if you don't stop disrespecting my squad with that Denver crap, Come on, man. Act like you see what's going on the other side. If we knock off the chance, we knocking off Denver.
Yeah.
So you ain't got to worry about that. It ain't going to be no Caldwell Pope. If you're going to stay up, cuz it's going to be staying up because of LeBron, not because of Caldwell Pope. Trust me. I don't know what these people are thinking. I mean, Joker's good, but, what really worries me is them other guys, though. So we'll talk about that after we, handle our business. They handle theirs. But I'm wishing y'all luck, man. I'm not a hater, so I got to wish y'all some luck. And
I know, man.
I can't stand the Celtics. That's the one thing we got in common.
I know. Roman's a big-time Laker, man. And, yeah.
Them green jerseys,
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, know it, dude.
No disrespect. It would be great to battle for 18, though. It would be great. So I ain't going to jinx you, but I'm just saying, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, wait, if we make it, they make it. It's the battle for 18. You can't ask for more than that. You can't ask for more than that, man. This playoff has been the best I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, man. No, it's been fun, man. It really has been. Great ball. I know you're pumped up after beating Golden State and your squad.
How many 50 pieces people dropping? Cuz you got Jimmy, you got Trey, you got Steph. I mean, come on.
I know. Jimmy needs to get back. Jimmy needs to get back from.
Come on.
Yeah.
And B dropped 50 tonight.
I know, right? It's crazy, man. It really. It's been great ball. The playoffs. It's amazing how good the playoffs are, and sometimes the regular season just is a slog.
And that's what that first game seemed like with the Sixers and Celtics. It seemed like it was like no.
That's what Lex said.
No nothing. It was like Legler said. It was just like a regular season game.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, it was interesting.
Oh man, but hey, look, enjoy the ride, cuz.
Thanks, Rome. You too, buddy.
Luck, man. Love you, boys.
Appreciate it, my brother. Appreciate it. Rob, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Yo, Rob. Rob Roy. How about Dougie? You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Doug.
Yo, and man, I'm going to frame this up because your boy's the same age as my son. And, we've been watching for like 3-4 years now with our kids who are cognizant now of how great this is and what it took to get here. I remember sitting in, I'm on the West Coast, so I'm putting my kids to sleep. This is back when he was like 6 years old, 5 years old. And we're watching the end of that game. I don't know if you remember this one, but it was a national game. Al Horford took over, they had this clutch shot. And I told my wife, she's like, yo, put them to bed because it's late. And I'm like, all right, I'll put them to bed. And I put it on my phone, and my son screams and gets me in trouble. And he's like, we can watch the game on your phone? When we're trying to be sleeping. And I'm like, yo, shut up. We're trying to watch the game, right? Dude, this is what it's all about, man. Our kids are watching greatness. And just like I remember Doc, the legend of Doc when I was a little boy in Philly.
Yeah,
my son is watching, the Phillies go to the championship of the World Series. The Eagles go to the Super Bowl. And now it's like we have a chance to watch the Sixers go to the championship. And this is just crazy, man. And this is the best thing ever.
Dude, you make me laugh. It's true. You know how many times I said, shh, stop. You're going to get me in trouble, man. You're going to come on. What are you doing, buddy?
but our teams were so deficient for one way or another. I don't see any deficiencies on this team right now. And seeing Harden become the guy that just takes over, I'm not going to call him Houston Harden because I think he's something different now. And that's okay. And I'm just and I'm watching with my little daughter who's 6 years old. And, we're watching that game. We see that shot. And we're just screaming because she's all excited and she's locked in with me too. And the best thing, and you'll love this, because you got me on this train thinking, because I don't remember all the Celtics hate.
Sure.
But I'm just sitting there watching this game one. And I'm like, man, I hate the Celtics. I didn't say it out loud because I don't want my kids to have negativity. My daughter just gets quiet after, I think, it must have been Derek White or one of those hate the faces who just scores on us. And she just gets quiet and she just goes, I don't like the Celtics.
Oh, I love her. Oh, God bless her. That's beautiful.
Hey, cuz, I know I'm rambling. One real quick thing, though.
Yeah.
You and I want to talk to you because I coach my kids' team, third grade team this year, too, for basketball. Bro, it's whatever tips you got coming for next year, fill me in on because I need that. I'm just screaming at the kids in the entire practice.
Yeah. So here's the thing. We at some point, let's talk. All right. Like, I want you to call back because I have some advice for you. By the end of it, I kind of figured it out a little bit. Listen, you never figure out, third and fourth graders, but man, I had a little bit of luck.
Dude, I had these nerds playing 2-3 zones by the end, so let's compare notes at the end.
You got it.
All right, cuz hey, Tunis, I need something from you, bro. I need you to play that song.
Play it. I love it. Where he says his little daughter's going, I don't like the Celtics.
It's good.
It is good. It's good that it's back, dude. Like, this is what it's about.
You know what I love? So I see Marcus Smart, right? He's got the green hair. Mm-hmm. And it's just so funny because we love Jalen Mills doing it because he was wearing the green hair when he was on the Eagles. But I see Marcus Smart doing it. It pisses me off.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. Right? I mean, that's what it is. You hate the guy on the other team who's like that, and you love him when he's on your squad. And that goes back to Tucker. Punch, junk, PJ Tucker.
Punch, counter punch.
Right?
Yeah, that was a nice little swat he had.
Yeah, it was. For punch junk. It's the truth.
He was playing the pass in case it got thrown back.
I got to tell you who else kind of he's creeping in on the list? Derek
list?
White.
Oh, yeah.
I'm starting not to like. He's starting to get on my nerves. I'm thinking Derek White's a part of this thing. So I gave you the top 40 Celtics. And I was trying to figure about it right now. If I said to you right now, who are the top 10 most despised, enemies of the state? Gannon's might be top 3.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's espionage. He's a traitor.
Yeah.
He
who else would
be number
one?
Who
else would be? Jaylen Brown's got to be on there, right? Or Smart. I guess Smart will be on there.
Yeah, Smart because he's more of a thorn. Like Jaylen Brown, I know he talks sometimes, but I don't know. I feel like he just goes out there and plays. So does Marcus Smart, but Marcus Smart is, he's Dylan the villain, Dylan Brooks, but a little bit more respectful.
Right. So I'm trying to think about who would the top 10 right now be of enemies of the state. I don't know. I mean,
can we also just hate them? Like, I hate that Brandon Nimmo with the Mets. He's not their best player, but I hate that pompous, he sprints to first base when he gets walked. I hate Brandon Nimmo.
I can get down with that. I don't like Nimmo either.
I hate Pete Alonso.
No, I just read a story about him. I can't hate him.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Why'd you do that to yourself?
It was really nice. I was like,
damn it! Don't tell me about it.
Yeah, it was actually. I want to get something for kids.
Come on.
Yeah, it was a shame. But listen, once it's a pennant race, we'll be able to heat that back up.
Okay, sounds good.
Because people, they go, I hate, grow up or whatever. They tell you all kinds of things. And you're like, dude, it's just sports. Hey, come on, man. You know what this is about.
I'll give you another one.
What you got?
How about we could package deal if you want. Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. How much they've cried since the Eagles beat them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then all the woe is me if Brock wasn't hurt. The Eagles aren't that good.
Yeah.
They have no shot of beating the Chiefs. We would have a better chance. Blah blah. Currently, those two guys, I
agree.
I don't like them.
I agree. You know what's funny? Birds in the Super Bowl, I can't really think of anybody on the Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't. Juju Smith-Schuster. Because he continued to badmouth the Eagles and make fun of the penalty and make fun of Eagles fans. So just Juju Smith-Schuster I can think of.
Oh, I got a great one. My man Hutch just came up with. He's spot on. Hargrave. After what he said?
Yeah, that was weird.
It wasn't weird.
I don't hate him because he was good for the
enemy of the
Eagles.
state
but
right now after what he did.
Yeah, to do the whole, man, if they had Purdy. Like, yo, dude, you were on the team that beat him. Like, what are you talking about?
I know. I actually go Hargrave greater than Debo. You expect it from Debo, right? You don't expect it from your own guy.
He's just trying to make a good first impression.
No, but the way he said it, too, was bad, dude.
You know what's weird? Dak doesn't come to my mind right now just because of how much of a mess he is.
No, I don't. No, I agree. Even
Zeke's gone.
Even Leatherface. I don't know. I got no real one way or another about him. How about but dude, you know what's funny? This tells you all you need to know. Like, I love Micah Parsons.
Yeah. Oh, and he loves the Eagles.
I know.
He isn't taking a shot at the team. That's the other thing. It's not just they're good, right? Like, Debo continues to talk smack on the Eagles. Juju Smith-Schuster continues to talk smack on the Eagles, and he stinks. But the fact that he's, Brandon Nimmo's not even the best player in the Mets, but just everything about him pisses me off. You could maybe put Scherzer on that list. I like Scherzer, but, he's a Met, so.
Yeah, Scherzer is, I agree with that.
And cheater. He's a cheater.
Keith has a great one. The cackling heads dismissing Embiid and the Sixers.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The cackling talking heads. That's pretty good. Chris is right on. Ben Simmons. But he's so irrelevant.
He doesn't even, he's not even worth my hate anymore.
He's not even in the state anymore, right?
No, I mean, he's not worth my hate. I'll continue to root against him. I will. But, I mean, he's not worth my time.
Yeah. Bradley goes, apologies to Sam Cassell. Because I hated him when he was the Celtics and called him an alien.
Wow. I'm trying to think from the Stros. The only guy I can really think of is that McCullers. Remember he got Phil's beat him up, and then after they won, he was like, "Yeah, we spilled a pool of red blood."
Yeah,
like, dude, what? That was the only blowout of the series. Was the game you pitched?
Was that? That's true.
You remember that? He did that whole speech of, it started with the Mariner. I was like, dude,
yeah.
You got rocked, man.
Right, you got.
You can't talk.
Yeah, that was weird.
If
that
anything,
was
you sit this one out, bro. Like, let Yuri Alvarez say something. He's the one that hit the home run. Like, get out of here. McCullers, you stink. Harper's home run's still flying out. Like, stop.
Oh, my God.
But it makes me hate him because of the comments. And, of course, he was on the dash. I'll give you Chaz McCormick, local kid.
Oh, the catch.
He makes the catch.
Oh, the catch.
Screw you, Chaz McCormick.
I like the kid, too.
So do I.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's a great one.
Phils might win the World Series.
I know. That catch was a great catch, too.
It was right where Real Muto would have been another inside the Parker, man.
How about Kai goes, Chuck Fletcher and Comcast, enemy of the state. Reef says Nick Friedel.
Oh, yeah, man.
He's a
I watched that again yesterday after we left the golf course. And you mean to tell me you think hard and ha-ha-ha? Like the laugh. The forced laugh.
It was phony.
Oh, God, it pissed me off, man.
And it did. Because you know why? Because, come on, dude, that was just fake. Listen, how many times you hear me go, Tatum's a great player. Jalen, you got to respect the game. You can hate the jersey, but you got to respect the game. Oh, my man, Dr. Andy, sleep doctor, and Dr. Andy, the dentist, says the guy who did the field at the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. The Sod Father.
That's a great one. The Sod Father.
Yeah, and then he went on a media tour trying to blame other people and the league.
Yeah, Dr. Andy spot on with the Sod Father.
Yeah, dude, the Sod Father. Carl Sheffers, referee of the Super Bowl. They read it through the flag.
Yes. That's fabulous. Wait, I got to get Uncle Frank because his grandson is holding it in, I hear.
Thank God.
Tell the world why you needed to be expedited.
Listen.
Not indicted, but expedited.
Right. At my
should
age,
be indicted.
I have no shame. Thank you, Andrew. He's got to poop, and he's busting my I said, I'm going to be on with our friends in a minute.
Please tell me you texted Aunt, hey, my grandson's got to poop. Can you get me on?
Yeah, you know. Because
Can you imagine that?
I'm the one who wouldn't shut up.
Period.
Oh, my God.
All right, please. I'm all over the place. Don't.
Yeah, soon your grandson's going to be all over the place.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's
Very
great.
good. I was going to go through my salutations, but there's no time. So listen. All right, focus. Yeah, yesterday was a great show. It was Jan, but I want to chat about Monday night and leading up to it. And you guys were that day we went from being in the Nervine boat with Nikki from Collegeville being the oarsman to just
the oarsman
pure elation at around a little before 10 that night. It was just and I loved BG yesterday. Dribble, talking about hard. It reminded they should play that theme from Jaws when he's dribbling. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, it was so. I went to bed with a smile on my face and had nothing to do with Zaza. But anyway, it took a total team effort, guys. Jackson, here we go. If I stay on focus, it's going to be amazing. I mean, Tucker played 30-some minutes, no points, no field goals, but a big impact on the game, right? Nevertheless, he, setting screens left and right, rebounding both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I mean, dirty work's a real deal.
And being an antagonist, Reed, clutch at the free throw line, Maxey, and the artist formerly known as Casper dealing, man. And you know what, guys? We haven't even had time to digest what Howie did with the draft, and the fact that Bryce Harper's back so quick.
Fest.
It's just an amazing, thank you, amazing confluence of local sports. All right, Andrew, play the damn song, man.
I would not eat poop.
Oh, my God. Oh, Judas. That's awesome. He's a character, isn't he?
Yeah, poor kid. Poor kid's got to go.
Poor kid's got to go. And he wants to talk Sixers. He's looking at talking Sixers. The poor kid's got to go, Tunis.
Yeah, come on, man. Can't be doing that to the kid. Like, come on, man.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And then you drop the deuce on him like that.
Oh, my God. I got to go in and talk about the Sixers. You know what he did yesterday? The best is we're at that amazing golf club for the Brian Dawkins, the Brian Dawkins Celebrity Golf Tournament. So we were at I love that place, by the way. That place was incredible.
Gorgeous.
I mean, amazing. And he goes to the bar and goes, hey, you know who I am?
Oh, my God.
He orders a vodka tonic. And the bartender, great guy, says, yeah, you're Uncle Frank. Oh, yeah, I'm Uncle Frank.
I am. It is what it is.
How great is that?
Hey, do you know who I am to him? Huh?
Yeah. No, like not in a rude way, but more like in a, hey, you know who I am?
Like, I just made your day. I'm Uncle Frank. The pleasure's yours.
Exactly.
Like,
what? Are you kidding me? You out of your mind?
That's awesome.
Freaking Uncle Frank, man. He's a peach. Oh my God. All right, we're running late, but I mean not late, but because we're all running out of time, man. I got to get Mike from Delran up here. Michael.
Yo, what's up, cuz? How you guys doing?
What's going on, man?
I gotta ask the question: How long do we give Dr. J.O. the time to congratulate Joel Embiid on that MVP? Because if it's not soon, and if he's not there when he gets presented that trophy on Friday night, I think he's got to become an enemy of the state. And I know that's hard for you, cuz, but I'm just kind of throwing out for everybody else. Like, he's getting close to creeping on that list. Enemy of the state. Go Birds.
Yeah, I haven't seen any congratulatory videos yet. Remember when Harper won? Doc had a congratulations to Bryce Harper video.
He did?
Yeah, we played it. Remember, it was all the MVPs. Iverson was in it.
Oh, my God.
But there has not been one yet for Joe.
Oh, my God.
Now, I've not seen Iverson post anything yet, so in his defense.
It's early. Can we just give the guy a break? Come on. No Doc slander today, please. No Doc slander. Come on. We can't slander. Not today. Look, it's game 2. June is game 2. So play it in the background. Get nuts. This is it. This is to take the series 21-4 when a road team wins the first 2 games of the series in the NBA playoffs. 21-4. So root them in. Stay tuned. Best show ever coming your way next. We love you guys.